Peace. What's good, family? What's good? What's good with you? I told you we'll be back in another 10 minutes, and it's probably a little over 10 minutes, but we're back nonetheless. And we got Rob Rack in the building along with Guerrilla Hebrew, and they're about to get it in on a very interesting topic that I'm looking forward to listening to. I want to be edified tonight. They're going to teach me about this Mamzer thing and why it's so important. I want to hear the breakdown of the Mamzer. That's what I want to hear tonight. And that's what we're going to do tonight. Shout out to the family. This is the Solar Vision Debate League. This season is locked down now because we got enough participants, but you can still send me the email, solarmind123@gmail.com, and you'll just be on the waiting list because we got a lot of people that get bodied, what body in the debate league is like, you lose a debate and then you want to quit out the debate league. That's a body right there. So we got a few people that got some bodies up in here. There's a few people with bodies up in here. So, solarmind123@gmail.com is how you're going to contact me to enter the debate league. And also, you could enter the debate league and just, you want to come on and drop some science. You just come set up and schedule that as well. And also, you could set up some off-the-record discussions if you want to speak with an individual or have a debate with an individual off the record. It was not going to be in the league, though. So, with that being said, yes, the title of the debate are the Mamzers Mixed Race. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's actually going to be discussed tonight. And I want to check something out real quick. And I was meaning to put the schedule, the standings. I got to put the standings on my OBS program so I could, keep y'all updated on the standings. That in which Guerrilla Hebrew, I believe, is at the top of those standings along with brother Chris Harris and brother Judah Nazareth. They stand at the top of the standings. Just to let y'all know, we got some up and coming debates tomorrow. We're going to have actually an interview. We got an interview early, just like what we did today, with brother Amayan, if I'm pronouncing his name right. And this brother, he is an Israelite that believes in the flat earth theory. So this should be very interesting tomorrow. There's going to be some interesting shit tomorrow. You got the flat earth Israelite coming on tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that. And then later on, we're going to have brother Mikael. Mikael is going to be in the building with Yamra Yahu. And they're going to be debating, can the New Testament and Christ be validated in the Old Testament? So that should be very interesting. We'll keep you posted on that. With that being said, what's going on, Guerrilla Hebrew?
Shalom, man. All praise Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, man. Honored to be here. Big up to Solar Mind. Big up to the brother Rob Rack. It's been a long time in the making, so the harvest is right, for this debate to occur. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, sir. Rob Rack, what's good with your family? Your mic's on mute, Rob.
Oh yeah, my bad, brother. I had peace and blessings to the brother Guerrilla Hebrew Alazar. Peace and blessings to you, Solar Mind. To the debate league. How you doing, brothers? And to the people out there. How you doing, brothers and sisters? All praises to the Most High Power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
All right. This will be a standard format tonight. That'll be 5-minute opening, 10-minute premise, 10-minute rebuttal round. We have the 15-minute rapid fire. That's both debaters asking each other questions, and then we have a 5-minute closing. And after that, we'll get into the polling and the voting. All right. So they talked about this off air. Rob Rack will be going first. I set the timer for 5 minutes, and brother, when you start talking, I'm gonna start this timer.
All right, peace. How you brothers and sisters doing? All praises to the Most High Power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right. I apologize for the last time I was on this platform. So the topic of the debate is, are Mamzers biracial, in which I will prove that they are, and that there is no hate in my heart. I don't hate people because of what they are, you know, like what they can't help, you know, like as far as how they can be. People going to misconstrue that like, oh, he agrees with this. I agree with the laws, statutes, and commandments, okay? Before anybody starts to twisting up words, all right? So the topic of the debate is does Mamzer mean biracial or mixed? And I will go ahead to prove that. The brother who I am debating is who I believe to be the top Mamzer in Israel. The top. There is no Mamzer above the brother who I am debating today. Who, by the way, you do not belong in our congregation, bro. You don't. All right? Like, I understand what you're doing. You fighting for the cause. You calling, Kaepernicking the cause for the Most High. But in the end, you are a Mamzer, bro. It's people in my family. This is not something that I'm saying this because, oh, I hate you people. I read the scripture. I understand it. I look at my situation and say, what's going on here? I can't control things that I did not produce. No disrespect. But if my son come home with a woman that's not an Israelite, he got a choice at that moment. Either you my son or you're not. You belong to the world or you belong to me and the Most High. Which one is it? I'm not immune to none of the things that I say. I've dated someone outside my race before. I brought that woman, at the time she was, you know, a young girl, you know, we was in high school. I brought a white girl home. And my mom never said, don't you ever do this, don't you ever do that. I just was, you know, whatever. Brought her home. And my mom was cool with her. Never as soon as I was like, okay, mom, I'm finna take her home. My mom gave me the look of no disrespect. So if you have children, cover their ears. Nigga, if you bring this type of bitch to my fucking house ever in your life, I will kill you, nigga. That's the look she had. That's what I saw. To this day, I still see it. I still see it to this day. I know that look. Okay? The mother of my child, she an Israelite. And guess what? I don't like her, but my mama love her. So it's a confusing thing. Like, oh, do I supposed to love this? I don't love her. And look, we as Israelites, we all got problems. We dealing with Israelite only problems. We supposed to love each other and be with each other. All right.
All right.
I'm gonna set
So,
this to
yeah, bro. Shout out to Rob Rack. We're gonna turn this thing over to the Guerrilla Hebrew. I'm gonna set the timer for 5 minutes, and when you start talking, I'm gonna start timing, brother.
Perfect. All right. First and foremost, I give all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High God Yahweh. I do so in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world calls Christ Yahweh Shai. And I'm going to get right into this. The topic of this debate is, are Mamzers mixed race people? Okay. Let's go right to the Bible and let's find out. We're going to go to the Torah. We're going to Deuteronomy 23, and we're going to go to verse 2. And it reads, a bastard shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord, even to his 10th generation shall he not enter into the congregation of the Lord. This is very important because this is where this doctrine comes from, this verse. And the whole thing of a mamzer is the transliteration of the Hebrew word for mamzer, which is translated here as bastard. It's very important to understand. So let's take a look at this word in the Strong's Concordance, and that's Strong's H4464, right? And here are the definitions. A bastard, a child of incest, an illegitimate child. This is the prime definition. Then it has other definitions. Bastard, figuratively, a mixed population, or C, born of a Jewish father and a heathen mother, or vice versa. So we have, in truth, about 7 definitions for this one word, but this is a word that's literally only used twice in the entire Bible. So the question is, how are we going to employ logic and hermeneutics to understand the definition that actually fits this word, what the accurate definition is? Because we know James Strong's, the compiler of this concordance, didn't have everything right. There's mishaps, there's things that he misunderstands. So for this to be definition C and this to be the definition that individuals go with, I would hope and think that they would have a lot of substantial scriptural evidence to be able to say this. But we're going to analyze this through the Spirit and through the power of the Most High in the name of Yahweh Shai, and we're going to understand this, right? So let's just go back to this verse. Again, the verse in question, the verse that this doctrine comes from. And let's take a look at how this word is translated in other translations alternative to the King James Version, right? And we go to New King James. It says, one of illegitimate birth shall not enter the assembly of the Lord, right? The New Living Translation says, if a person is illegitimate by birth, neither he nor his descendants for 10 generations may be admitted into the assembly of the Lord. The NIV says, no one born of a forbidden marriage. ESV, no one born of a forbidden marriage. CSB, no one born of illegitimate birth. So as we see, the consensus of the other translations deals with somebody who was produced by an illegitimate birth, by a union that's unsanctioned by the laws of God. Let's take a look at the word illegitimate real quick. I want to look this word up so we can get a better understanding of how somebody could have an illegitimate birth, because that's what a mamzer is according to the Bible. So illegitimate, it says not authorized by law, right? Not authorized by law. So let's go back here. So the question is this: if his premise is correct, then a mamzer would have to be the product of, or being a product of 2 different races of people would render you a mamzer. That would mean that there would have to be a law that expressly forbids it. That's what that would have to mean, right? Let's see if there's a law for that. I challenge the brother Rob Rack, please, in your next round, find us the law that forbids an Israelite man from having a sexual relationship with a non-Israelite woman. I challenge you, just produce to me one law that verbatim forbids that action. What I'll do in the meantime is show you the law that actually contradicts that it's against the law to have sex with a woman who's not an Israelite. This is Deuteronomy 21:10. When thou goest forth to war against thy enemies, and Yahweh thy power have delivered them into thine hands, and thou hast taken them captive. So when you go to war against another nation, and you take captives of them, when you're done conquering them, you take captives of what's left, typically of their women and their children. Verse 11, and seest among the captives a beautiful woman, and hast a desire unto her, that thou wouldest have her to thy wife. Then thou shalt bring her home to thine house, and she shall shave her head and pare her nails, and she shall put the raiment of her captivity from off of her, and shall remain in thine house, and and bewail her father and mother a full month. And after that, thou shalt go in unto her, meaning have sex, and be her husband, and she shall be your wife. So as we can see here, this is literally a law that tells you the process in which you can actually have a relationship with a woman sexually now, and it be in a form of a marriage with a woman who is not an Israelite. So if this is something that is upheld by law, how can you then rationalize that the product of this union that's upheld by law is a mamzer, somebody who is illegitimate, somebody who is a product of something unlawful? It's a literal impossibility. It's a literal misunderstanding. And to further substantiate that, let's go to another law in the book of Leviticus 25 and 44. And it says, both thy bondmen and thy maids, thy captives, which thou shalt have, shall be of the heathen that are round about you. Of them shall ye buy bondmen and bondmen.
All right. We're gonna turn this thing over now back to Rob Rack. We're gonna turn this thing over back to Rob Rack. Give me 1 second while I reset this timer. We're gonna start this first round.
My turn?
Yes, sir. Let me set this timer for 10 minutes, brother. Alright.
I now know how to debate on your debate league.
Alright, so when you start talking,
Deuteronomy chapter 7. Could you pull that up for me, brother? Solar Mind, please.
What you want me to pull up for you, brother?
Deuteronomy chapter 7, please. Thank you very much. King Mamzer here said, bring up a law.
Now you said Deuteronomy. I'm gonna start this timer. Deuteronomy
chapter 7.
Chapter 7. All right, hold on 1 second while I get my Bible.
Yeah, I sent you some links. Could you please hold the timer until you pull it up on the screen, please? You said, show you the law. Right?
Well, I'm on the OBS right now, so what exactly you want me to do?
Deuteronomy chapter 7. When the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and have cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them, and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Verse 3. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Now, a lot of people say, oh, that's covenants. Okay, cool. So we're not supposed to come into business partnerships with them. Okay, cool. I understand that. Well, let's keep reading. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son.
And what verse you reading again, brother?
Deuteronomy chapter 7, and that was verse 3, but I started at verse 1. Could you pull that up on your screen?
Yes, I can. Just give me 1 second.
Thank you. He said, show him the law. I am in Deuteronomy. If this is not the law, then I don't know what is. All right, so now here's the reason why. Not because biracial or mixed race people are retarded, less intelligent, or whatever, but this is why. For they will turn thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. All right. So he also brought, that was, you said, show you a law where we're not supposed to intermarry with these other people. Now, the Canaanites are but they are children of Ham. And if you believe in the 12 tribe charts, or if you believe in however we know the children of Ham to be quote unquote African. So we're not even supposed to intermingle with a certain group of Africans. But as the debate goes on, we'll see what happens when the children of Israel want to even mix race with the children of Ham. We'll see what happens. All right. So you brought up Deuteronomy 21. Let me turn. So Deuteronomy 21, right? So we're going to go over this again. Deuteronomy 21 in chapter 10. All right. You brought this up. Deuteronomy 21 in chapter 10. When thou goest forth to war against thine enemies. Okay. So when the Israelites go forth to war against the enemies of the Israelites. Okay, I understand that. You brought that up. Not when the captive Israelites go forth to war for their oppressors. Let me see. I'm going to show you how I know that this is true. And the Lord thy God delivered them into thine hands. So, when the Israelites go forth to war to their enemies, and when the Most High deliver those enemies into their hands, so that means whatever nation, whatever people, whatever alien race from another planet, whatever, when the Israelites beat up on nations because the Most High delivered, because God delivered them into their hands, and thou hast taken them captive. So we took them captive. So they in chains, they in ropes, they in bondage. You didn't meet them at the club. You didn't meet them at a work function. You didn't meet them on the bus, not on the train, not at the airport. You didn't meet them nowhere. You met them because they were captive. Not because she was some stringy-haired, big booty chick dancing in a video, because she practiced 6 years to do 2 dances. And see, it's among the captives a beautiful woman. So you said, so okay. So after all that, so after the Most High delivered them unto the Israelites, so after the people of the enemies of the Israelites, after they been beat up, after the men of war, okay, after the men of war been beat up, okay. So if you half Israelite, that means that your mama's brother who was able to fight, they got stabbed up by somebody like me. And now my cousin Jaquan is your baby daddy. And he finna shave your head because you got lice and cut your hair and cut your nails because you dirty. Now we gonna read. Then thou shalt bring her home to thine house, and she shall shave her head and pare her nails. So for you brothers out there who thinking that it's all good, oh, Deuteronomy 21. So first of all, she not supposed to have no brother, no cousins. You supposed to beat you. Her cousins and brothers supposed to be beat up. The Most High supposed to had delivered them into our hands. This is an act of war. Not you went out to the club and bought her some Ciroc. Man, get up out of here, dude. Then thou shalt bring a pair of nails, and she shall put the raiment of her captivity off from her, and shall remain in thine house, and shall bewail her father and her mother a full month. And after that, thou shalt go in unto her, and be her husband, and she shall be thy wife. So it ain't no, oh, you know what I'm saying, I'm just messing with her right now. No, she gonna be your wife. She is your wife. After all that, she is your wife. Right? And it shall be, if thou have no delight with her, in her, then thou shalt let her go whither she will, but thou shalt not sell her at all for money, but thou shalt not make merchandise of her, because thou hast humbled her. When people use these things, I understand that. I understand that if I saw a brother with a woman who is not an Israelite after we didn't beat up her people. Getting the text, no, text me. After we didn't beat up her people. All right? I have no problem with you being with Becky after Ian and Connor then got knocked out and stomped out. Yeah, go ahead. Because when I get up, when we all having drinks, and I'll be like, hey, where your brother at? Oh, that's right, he's dead. Thanks to the Most High. Then what? Then what you gonna do? Oh, man, that's my wife. Shut up. It's 10 million of us. And it ain't but like 200,000 of y'all over here being Mamzers and Mamzer makers. And you over here want to tell me what to do. You want me to bring up the story of Zimri? I'll do it. And we're going to bring that up. People is calling me. Oh, my goodness. Text me. Why is it so hard to read? All right. He said bring up the law. I brought up the law. Deuteronomy 7. This is not because I hate people in this situation. Okay? Now, he's going to probably try to bring up, but it doesn't say in Deuteronomy 23. So I'm going to bring up 1 Kings. No, I'm away. I'm sorry. I'm just, people texting me. All right. Trying not to come off as a prejudice bigot or anything of that nature. Like I said, it's in my family, and I'm talking to my peoples like, hey, stop this. But, you know, it is what it is, all right? So, here's the thing, brothers and sisters. We are commanded not to do these things. Not because you're lucky I didn't get text, but oh my God.
Alright. Shout out to Rob Rack for the first round. We're gonna hand this thing over to Guerrilla Hebrew. When you come in the building, make sure you hit the like button. Hit the like button when you come in the building. Guerrilla Hebrew, it's on you, brother.
Thank you. Again, I give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. I'd like to thank our brother Rob Rack for doing exactly what I wanted him to do. I asked him, show me in the law. The only place where he could possibly reason in the law, his understanding is here in Deuteronomy 7. And I'm very surprised, because typically brothers with his flawed understanding wouldn't ever start Deuteronomy 7 at the top. But let's start it in context, and let's see who it's forbidding us to deal with. Deuteronomy 7:1. When the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and hast cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. And when the Lord thy God, as we can see, but then it says, neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Who is the them? These 7 people. This is not a blanket term that can be utilized towards all peoples of the world. This only literally applies, this law only applies to 7 people groups, distinct people groups, Hamitic, Canaanitish people. These are the only people that this law is applicable to. So for you to try to blanket this to all heathens is you literally mishandling the word of the Most High and, quite frankly, blatantly lying on it. That's not what it's talking about. These marriages with them are forbidden, not with everybody. So I asked you to show me in the law, and now you haven't. I'm going to tell you what's interesting. This brother went to Deuteronomy 21 that I've read. And if y'all paid attention to his interpretation of Deuteronomy 21, he's basically saying mixed people are cool after, if we destroy white people and there's a few white girls and people reproduce with them, that's fine. But not in any other time. So if that's the case, how is a mixed person a mamzer? If we're mamzers now, wouldn't we be mamzers then? Wouldn't we always perpetually be mamzers? Right? And here's the crazy thing. You're talking about if we kill thousands of white people and then the dude got a white girl and have a kid, that's cool. Here's what's funny. I'm from Haiti where we actually did that, right? So you're actually, according to your understanding, I still wouldn't be a mamzer. According to what you just said, you literally just virtually forfeited this entire debate. 5-year breakdown of Deuteronomy 21. I want you to very clearly understand that, because if your cousin Jaquan was my daddy, it would be cool, right? That's according to what you just said. And I also want to make this blanket statement that I am in no way condoning or promoting interracial relationships, interracial dating, interracial reproduction. I do not stand for it. I do not condone it. I don't co-sign it or none of that, but I am a product of it. But the same way if I was a product of rape, I wouldn't have to be.
Hey, you gotta be quiet doing this round, brother.
An advocate for rape. I wouldn't have to be. All right? So I want to make sure that's clear. That's not something I'm doing. Anyway, moving on. So let's go here to the book of Wisdom of Solomon, right? And it's Wisdom of Solomon 4:3, and it says, "But the multiplying brood of the ungodly shall not thrive, nor take deep rooting from bastard slips," right? Bastard, that's this Mamzer thing, right? "Nor lay any fast foundation. For though they flourish in branches for a time, yet standing not last, they shall be shaken with the wind, and through the force of winds they shall be rooted out. The imperfect branches shall be broken off." This is bastards now. "Their fruit unprofitable, not ripe to eat, yea, meat for nothing. For children begotten upon unlawful beds are witnesses of wickedness against their parents in their trial." Again, so we see a bastard is identified as a child begotten on an unlawful bed. This is consistent with the other scriptures that we read and the primary definition for the word mamzer. Not a person that's of mixed race, but a person that was begotten on an unlawful bed. Outside of the 7 nations of Canaan, he did not produce and he cannot produce, because the law does not exist that forbids relationships between Israelite men and women of any other nation outside of the 7 Canaanite nations. Okay, so through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, I hope that's understood, right? So what I want to do now is go back to Deuteronomy 23, because this is the funny part about this, right? And this is how cherry-picky individuals who are proponents of this doctrine are, right? Again, verse 2, it says, "A bastard shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord, even to his 10th generation shall he not enter." It says even to his 10th. That means a bastard, whoever a bastard is, shall never enter into the congregation, nor his descendants, even for 10 generations or longer. You can't enter, right? So if it's true and a bastard is a mixed person, and you have any admixture of anything outside of Israelite within you, you would then not be an Israelite. That's according to his understanding. But this is how they pick and choose, because they know a lot of black people in America now are mixed with white people, but it could have been 2 or 3 generations ago. So they try to mix and mingle this doctrine to make it okay. But according to this, literally verbatim, a bastard can never enter. Even to his 10th generation doesn't mean until his 10th generation. That means even in 10 generations from when he was a bastard, his descendants can never come in. That's what it means. It's clear. It's right here in the text, black and white. Everybody's looking at it. That's looking at my screen. Anybody can open their Bible and find this, right? So that's what it means. But watch this, verse 3. "And an Ammonite or Moabite shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord, even to their 10th generation shall they not enter into the congregation of the Lord forever." So notice, a bastard and an Ammonite or a Moabite, both not even to their 10th generation, can enter into the congregation. That's interesting. Why? I'll show you. Let's go to the book of Genesis. Genesis 19:36. And it says, "Thus were both the daughters of Lot with child by their father." So you have 2 girls who got pregnant by their dad. And this is the firstborn bare a son and called his name Moab, for this is the father of the Moabites unto this day. And the younger, she also bare a son and called his name Ben-Ami, the same is the father of the children of Ammon unto this day. So as we can clearly see here, the people of Moab and Ammon are products of incest. As we can clearly see in Deuteronomy 23 and 3, Moabites and Ammonites are forbidden from entering even into the 10th generation. The same way a Mamzer is forbidden. Why? Because they're a whole nation of Mamzers. That's why we see this. They're both forbidden for 10 generations. Because when we get down here, Edomites and Egyptians, they're good after 3 generations. But it says these people, just like a Mamzer, are not cool even unto their 10th generation. Let's read it. Deuteronomy 23:7. "Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite, for he is thy brother. Thou shalt not abhor an Egyptian, because thou wast a stranger in his land. The children that are begotten of them shall enter into the congregation of the Lord in their 3rd generation." Here's what's interesting. Proponents of this doctrine will say, like, for example, a brother like me, I have a mother that would be biblically considered an Edomite, right? So they'll say, in 3 generations, you'll be good. But as of right now, because you're the direct descendant of a black man and a white woman, you wouldn't be good. You'd be a Mamzer. But if y'all notice, Deuteronomy 23 and 7 and 8 don't say nothing about a mamzer or a bastard. That's Deuteronomy 23 and 2. So I'd like to understand how they then took a word from here and put it in this verse. Because this little thing here, y'all might want to use this. This means the context changed. And the context has changed 2 times since the Bible started talking about a bastard, right? But yet and still, y'all will force that word in here. That's not here, right? If a mamzer is a mixed race person, they can't enter until the 10th generation. That's it. Whatever a mamzer is, they can't enter into the 10th generation. That's law. But it says an Edomite or Egyptian can enter in their 3rd generation. So it can't be what you're talking about, because whatever this is talking about can enter in their 3rd generation. A mamzer can enter into their 10th generation. So I'd really like to understand the rationale behind the understanding of this when you're literally taking a word and forcing it into a verse where it doesn't exist, right? But with that, I want to go into some things. I want to go into some mixed race people in the Bible, and let's see if they were considered mamzers or Israelites or what. So this is Exodus 6 and 15. And the sons of Simeon, this is the tribe of Simeon, Jemuel and Jamin and Ohad and Jachin and Zohar and Shaul, the son of a Canaanitish woman. These are the families of Simeon. So a whole entire family of Simeon was the product of the relationship between Simeon, an Israelite, and a Canaanitish woman, a Hamite woman. They were the product of that, and they were still considered a family and a tribe, and he was the chief of this tribe, or this family of this tribe, right? He wasn't called a mamzer, he wasn't called a mixed bird, he wasn't called a bastard. He was called nothing but an Israelite of the tribe of Simeon, and so were all of his children. So if your understanding is correct, Rob, this person should not be here in Exodus 6 and 15. Moving on, Genesis 46 and 20. And Joseph in the land of Egypt were born Manasseh and Ephraim, when Asenath, the daughter of Potiphera, priest of On, bare unto him. Asenath, she's Egyptian, right? Both these kids, Manasseh and Ephraim, their mother was Egyptian. They're tribes of Israel. If they weren't Israel, if they were mamzers like you said, they couldn't be tribes of Israel. They would be heathen. They would be non-Israelite, or as you would say, a halfway house. Why are they reckoned as tribes of Israel and Israelites if their mother is an Egyptian? I'd love for you to explain that. Moving on. 1 Chronicles 7 and 14, the sons of Manasseh. Now remember, Manasseh's already a mamzer according to Rob. The sons of Manasseh, Ashuriel, whom she bare, but his concubine, the Amorites, bare Machir, the father of Gilead. See that? The father of Gilead. Gileadites, a chief family or clan within the tribe of Manasseh, was born by a non-Israelite woman, an Amoritess. How is it that all of these individuals that we're reading about are chiefs, are prominent people, are respected people who are reckoned as Israelites in the Bible?
All right. Shout out to the Guerrilla Hebrew. Shout out to the Guerrilla Hebrew for dropping that science. We're going to go now to the rebuttal round. The rebuttal round is now in effect. We're going to turn this thing back over to Rob Rack. And Rob Rack, when you begin talking, I'm going to set this timer. And we're going to get it rocking.
All right. Could you, because I'm not at my, okay, could you pull up some things on your screen for me? I need the people to see this. All right. Getting into lightning round. Okay, so we're going to go to 1 Kings and 11. Could you pull up? I'll start talking, but just pull it up on the screen for me, please. 1 Kings and 11. 1 Kings and 11. All right. But Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughter of Pharaoh. Now I'm going to go back to Deuteronomy 7. Okay, let me pull it up. I want to get it word for word.
Now, brother,
When the Lord
I
thy God,
can't be navigating because I gotta write the stuff down that you're saying at the same time, bro.
Yeah. So we got 1 Kings 11, the first verse. But King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughter of Pharaoh. So the daughter of Pharaoh is the Egyptian. Okay? Now the rest of the women were children of Canaan and such. But now he said, you need to show me where the Israelites sinned, pretty much. Where the Israelites sinned by marrying and doing things outside of the children that were commanded as far as in Deuteronomy 7. So Solomon, the king of Israel, okay, so in chapter, let me look on your screen while I'm getting it again out of here. My book flipped over. 1 Kings chapter 11, 1, when it says the daughter of Pharaoh. Now, if you keep reading, oh man, this is ridiculous. Okay, here we go. 1 Kings, sorry, and 11. Okay, so, but Solomon loved many strange women together with the daughter of Pharaoh. So now we have the Egyptian. Now you said, why is it that when the children that are mixed with Israelite and Egyptian? So when I go to Deuteronomy chapter 23, okay, now when you looked at the Blue Letter Bible, they had little paragraphs, like pretty much like a thought process, right? And Deuteronomy chapter 23, 543, Deuteronomy chapter 23 and 2. A bastard shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord, even to his 10th generation shall he not enter into the congregation of the Lord. This is the finishing of that thought process. An Ammonite or a Moabite shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord, even into the 10th generation shall they not enter into the congregation of the Lord forever. This is the reason why. Because they met you not with bread and water in the way, when ye came forth out of Egypt, because they hired against thee Balaam, the son of Beor, of Pethor, of Mesopotamia, to curse thee. All right? Now, when you go down to verse 7 and 8, this is a different thought process, but of the same, in the same context. Thou shalt not abhor, hate for without no reason an Edomite. The Edomites are not white people, brothers and sisters. Okay? The Edomites came from the same forefathers as ours. They are not white people. Okay? The Horite is the white people. So let me finish reading. Deuteronomy 7. Now, thou shalt not abhor an Edomite. Why? For he is thy brother. Okay? Thou shalt not abhor an Egyptian. Why? Because thou was a stranger in his land. We became a nation in Egypt. Okay, we went into Egypt a very small minority, and we came out a very large population. So, in a sense, we owe a debt to Egypt, okay? A small debt, whether it be for their DNA, whether it be for their technological advances, or whatever. That's the reason why. Okay, so let me see, where else? So 1 Kings in 11 shows that we are not commanded to deal with these nations who, in Deuteronomy 7, right? But the daughter of Pharaoh was one of the children, children mentioned. I'm sorry, I'm skipping through 3. Okay, so now I'm going to finish reading 1 Kings chapter 11. Okay, now listen. But King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughter of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites. Zidonians weren't mentioned in Deuteronomy 7. But yet, this is what the Most High says about these nations. Watch this. Of the nations concerning which the Lord said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go in to them, neither shall they come in unto you. Why? For surely they will turn away your heart after their gods, and Solomon clave unto these in love. Now watch this. Let me go to Judges chapter 14, right? Let me pull this up. Judges chapter 14. You gotta excuse me. happened. Okay. Judges chapter 14, verse... Okay, I'll just read it real quick. Judges chapter 14, verse 1. And Samson went down to Timnah and saw a woman in Timnah of the daughters of the Philistines, another group that were a child of Ham. And he came up and told his father and mother and said, I've seen a woman in Timnah of the daughters of the Philistines. Now therefore get her for me to wife. Then his father and his mother said unto him, okay, this is Samson's father and mother, is there never a woman among the daughters of thy brethren, or among all my people, that thou goest to take a wife of the uncircumcised Philistines? And Samson said unto his father, get her for me, for she pleases me well. Now let's see how that works out. Samson 16 and 16. I'm going to, so let me find it. So oh, okay, here we go. Judges chapter 16 verses 15. And she said unto him, how canst thou say I love thee when thine heart is not with me? Thou hast mocked me 3 times and hast not told me wherein thy great strength lieth. And it came to pass when she pressed him daily with her words and urged him, that his soul vexed him unto death. So basically, this non-Israelite woman, she was like, come on, tell me the secret to your success. Tell me how come you so strong. Tell me how come the Most High loved you and does all these things. That he told her all his heart and said unto her, there have not come a razor upon my head, for I have been a Nazarite unto God from my mother's womb. Samson was an Israelite. His mama was an Israelite. His daddy was an Israelite. We read that in Judges chapter 14, where the mom was like, is there never a daughter among thy brethren and sistren, or among all thy people? So if you don't want to get with a specific woman in your tribe, what about the Israelites from the other tribes? No, you want this woman that's not even of your people, right? So, for I have been a Nazarite unto my mother's womb, just like Jeremiah chapter 1 and 5. Sorry. If I be shaven, then my strength will go from me, and I shall become weak and like any other man. So he told Delilah all his heart, right? So she basically set him up. Okay, after he gave her all the whole deal. Right now, I'm gonna go back to I thought I had it in my hands. First Kings 11. I'm gonna go back and now watch this. Of the nations concerning which the Lord said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go in unto them, neither shall they come in unto you, for surely they will turn your heart after their gods. Solomon clave unto these in love these strange women, and he had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines, and his wives turned away his heart. For it came to pass, when Solomon was old, that his wives turned away his heart after other gods, and his heart was not perfect with his, and his heart was not perfect with the Lord his God as the heart of David his father. Damn it.
All right. Look. So we're gonna turn this thing over to, once again, Guerrilla Hebrew. Let's check out what's going on in the chat real quick before we do that. I see. Let's get them likes up to 50. Family. We only at, 31? Let's get them things up to 50. We got 120 something people in the building. Let's get them likes up to 50, man. Stop playing with me, man. Stop playing with your boy. Alright. So, with that being said, we're going to now turn this thing over to Guerrilla Hebrew. I'm going to set the timer for 10 minutes.
All right. Again, all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Our brother Rob Rack started this round, and he said, I asked him a question that I didn't ask him. What I asked you, Rob, for the, I don't know how many of time, at least half a dozen times now, I need you to show me in the law where dealing with a non-Israelite woman is forbade. That's what I need to verbatim. In general, not specific peoples. In general, just non-Israelite women. being forbidden in law, because that is the subject matter for this debate in determining what, in fact, the biblical definition of a mamzer is, brother. All right, anybody can run this tape back. What you're doing, what you're attempting to do, is create a straw man and attack it. You're attacking and you're amplifying examples of perilous times that were the result of an Israelite man dealing with a non-Israelite woman. I would agree. I wouldn't think it was wise, and I wouldn't think brothers should deal with non-Israelite women. I 1000% agree. Here's the thing. The question is it a law not to do it, and is the product of a brother who may happen to do it not an Israelite or a bastard? That's the topic of this discussion, brother. I am not an advocate for interracial dating, nor will I ever be, right? So with that being understood, I want to make sure that's pretty clear. The brother went here. Let me share my screen. The brother went here to 1 Kings, right? And it talks about the sin that Solomon did. It said that his wives turned away his heart to other gods. The sin wasn't having sex with these women, having children with these women. The sin was following their gods. That's the issue. The same thing that's talked about here. And certain of these women, for example, you see Hittite, right? You see Hittite there. What do we see here? Hittite. He went after a nation that we were told not to deal with. See? That's the issue. Not just him dealing with other women in general. Then this guy went to Judges 14. He's going to understand how much of a disastrous mistake that was now, right? So he just went in here, right? And Samson went down to Timnath and saw a woman of Timnah, of the daughters of the Philistines. He saw a Philistine woman. This is not a woman listed and forbidden in Deuteronomy 7, right? He saw her, right? Now watch this, verse 4. But his father and his mother knew not that it was of the Lord. It's of Yahweh that he saw an occasion against the Philistines. So it literally was of God for him to get with this non-Israelite woman. If this was unlawful, if this product of this would be a mamzer or a bastard or any of those things, why would it be of God that he get with a woman that wasn't an Israelite? Why would that be of God? Let's go here real quick. This is Ecclesiasticus 15 and 20. It says, he hath commanded no man to do wickedly, neither hath he given any license to sin. That's what it says. So if it was of him, then it couldn't contradict his law. All right, that's what we have to understand through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah. But I'm going to go back to what I was building before and go and showing. I've been able to show multiple people who are regarded as Israelites, as righteous, as chiefs, as leaders in the nation of Israel who did not have Israelite mothers, who were not called bastards or mamzers. And I'm going to continually do that more here. This is 1 Chronicles 2 and 3. And it says, the sons of Judah, and Onan and Shelah, which three were born unto him, unto the daughter of Shua the Canaanitess, right? And and the firstborn of Judah, was evil in the sight of Yahweh, and he slew him. And Tamar his daughter-in-law bare him Pharez and Zerah, all the sons of Judah. So Tamar, a Canaanite woman, who was the wife of one of the dead sons of Judah, Judah procreated with her to create Pharez and Zerah, who are the families or the fathers of the tribe of Judah. So we would have to understand that the whole tribe of Judah would be mamzers, would be bastards, pursuant to the logic that's being employed by our brother Rob Rack. Now watch this. Let's go to the book of Ruth. Ruth 4 and 13. So Boaz took Ruth. Ruth is a Moabite. Boaz took Ruth, and she was his wife. And when he went in unto her, the Lord gave her conception, and she bare a son. She had a son. And the woman, her neighbors gave it a name, saying, there is a son born to Naomi, and they called his name Obed. He is the father of Jesse, which is the father of David. Now, real quick, just want to show y'all. Ruth is a Moabite, just in case anybody, because you got a portion of people who, for some reason, believe she's not a Moabite. Though it tells us this verbatim. She's of Moab. Tells us this verbatim, right? And they took them wives of the women of Moab. The name of the one was Orpha, and the name of the other Ruth. So Naomi returned to Ruth, the Moabitess. Ruth is a Moabite, so we can understand. So as we can see here, Ruth is the mother, of Obed, who is the father of Jesse, who is the father of David. So as we can see here, pursuant to this, if this was true, if a mamzer was a mixed person, then King David, if you're an OT only guy like our brother Rob Rack is, David is like the most righteous guy ever, the most champion man in the Old Testament. he would be a Mamzer according to your understanding, Rob. How do you reconcile that, brother? Now watch this. This First Chronicles 3 and 2. The third Absalom, the son of Maacah, the daughter of Talmai, king of Jeshur. These are Hamites, Jeshur. The fourth, Adonijah, the son of Haggith. Skipping to verse 10, still here in 1 Chronicles 3. And Solomon's son was Rehoboam, Abiah his son, and Asa his son, Jehoshaphat his son. So Absalom, which was a son of David, was produced by a non-Israelite woman. So David, this champion man, who again, according to Ruth, would be a Mamzer, also had a child with a non-Israelite woman. So wouldn't that make that child a double Mamzer, Absalom? But watch this. And also Rehoboam, who Solomon had with an Ammonitish woman, right? What we're going to read about now. And Rehoboam, the son of Solomon, reigned in Judah. Rehoboam was 41 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 17 years in Jerusalem, the city which Yahweh did choose out of all the tribes of Israel to put his name there. And his mother's name was Naamah an Ammonitess. So we have Absalom, who was a mother was a Hamite. We have our brother Rehoboam, whose mother was an Ammonitess. Right now, watch this. Deuteronomy 17 and 15. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, which Yahweh thy power shall choose. One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee, that thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. So, Israelites were forbidden from setting somebody over them to rule over them who was not their brother. If they were a Mamzer, if that made them not an Israelite by being mixed, they would not be permitted to be kings over Israel. But watch this, 2 Samuel 19 and 10. And Absalom, whom he anointed over us, is dead in battle. Absalom, who we anointed over us, this is Israel, talking about how they chose Absalom to be their king, whose mother wasn't an Israelite. And we're only supposed to choose our brethren. So how is it that a mixed person is a Mamzer and not an Israelite, but only Israelites are allowed to rule over Israelites, and Israelites elected somebody to rule over them whose mom wasn't an Israelite? Let's continue on. 2 Chronicles 10. And Rehoboam went to Shechem, for to Shechem were all Israel come to make him king. All Israel came to make Rehoboam king, whose mother was an Ammonitess. And it came to pass, when Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, who was in Egypt, whether he had fled from the presence of Solomon the king, heard it, that Jeroboam returned out of Egypt, and they sent and called him. So Jeroboam and all Israel came and spake to Rehoboam, saying, Thy father made our yoke grievous. Now therefore ease thou somewhat the grievous servitude of thy father and his heavy yoke that he put upon us, and we will serve thee. Again, if he wasn't an Israelite, wasn't allowed to enter the congregation because of who his mother was, how is it that Israelites are contradicting Deuteronomy 17 and 15 and voluntarily serving both of these men who were, as you would so eloquently call them, halfies? What sense does that make? So again, we've demonstrated 1, 2, 3. Again, David, and David would be a Mamzer, right? And also Absalom, which was elected to be king, and Rehoboam, who actually reigned, would be Mamzers according to your understanding. And also every other king that came out of the Davidic line would also be a Mamzer and not an Israelite. But those were the only people that the Most High ever said were allowed to be kings of Israel. So how is it that these non-Israelite, these bastards, these disgusting, abominable things that are a product of something that's so evil and treacherous, how is it that the Most High promised that only them were allowed to be on the throne? What sense does that make? I need the listening audience to really pay attention to how flawed this brother's understanding is, and I really wish, and my heart's desire is that he would realize how flawed his understanding is, and I understand your vehement, fervent position against interracial dating, and I share in that sentiment with you, brother. But the products of those unions are not bastards and are not Mamzers, and if they are, we're in a world of trouble, because those are the only people that God said could sit on the throne and rule Israel. That's crazy. Let's move on. This is let's see some more Mamzers now, guys. 1 Chronicles 23 and 6. And David divided them into courses among the sons of Levi, namely Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. Remember this, right? And the sons of Kohath, Amram, Izhar, Hebron, and Uzziel the fourth, right? So this is who the sons of Levi are, right? Kohath, right? So now let's go here. This is Numbers 12 and 1. And Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moses because of the...
All right. Shout out to the Guerrilla Hebrew for dropping that science. Shout out to the Guerrilla Hebrew for dropping that science. Just to let y'all know, tomorrow, once again, we have Mikhail in the building. He's going up against Yamra Ya'u, and the title of that debate is going to be Can the New Testament and Christ be validated in the Old Testament? So make sure you tune into that. With that being said, we're going to get into the rapid fire round, right? It's rapid fire round time. It's time for the rapid fire. So we're going to set this thing for 15 so we can get this thing popping. And since you went first, brother, Brother Rod Rack, we're going to allow Sakari to ask the first question. And when he asks the first question, I'm going to start the timer.
Okay, perfect. So, Rob, am I an Israelite?
Unmute your mic, brother.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, this is not my, I don't know what's going on. The kids is on my computer and stuff. It took me a minute when I got home. I didn't have time. Okay. The answer to your question, according to me, no.
Okay.
No.
Is my father and my kids Israelites?
Two-part question. If your father is from the children of Israel, yes. Are your children? No.
Okay, what about my grandchildren?
Okay. Are they
if my children are 3 and 1, right? So
are they getting with Israelites? Is what
if my kids got with Israelites, would their kids be Israelites?
If your kids be with Israelites, would they be Israelites? No.
No, would the product of my kids and the Israelites that they got with be Israelites?
No.
Okay.
Now do another generation and ask me that same question.
Oh, okay, so my great-grandkids could be Israelites.
Yep.
Okay, so my father's an Israelite and my great-grandkids could be Israelites, but me and my kids and my grandkids can't be.
Correct.
Okay, so am I not an Israelite because I have non-Israelite blood in me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I'm going to pull this source. This is via Dr. Gerard M. Dillow, and this is via the National Fetal Institute of America, and this is a pretty good thing to understand. It says the placenta is part of the communication between the fetus and the expectant mother. Most people tend to think of this communication as the route of exchange where the mother's blood and the fetus's blood mix and exchange, but this is a myth. The fetal blood and maternal blood do not mix. In fact, if this were to be the case, there would be such immunological protest from the mother that she would soon make enough antibodies to the baby's blood to destroy the pregnancy. So what exactly is meant by communication between fetus and mother? And if no blood is exchanged, how does oxygen and nutrition get passed onto the developing baby? The point is that a fetus, a sperm, when it's deposited into a woman and it starts to become a baby, it doesn't get any blood from its mother. So I actually don't have any non-Israelite blood in me, according to science. So how can that fact be true and what you're saying be true?
Okay, Solomon, could you put, for some reason when I tried to screen share, it brought up a whole matrix. Could you bring up screen share for me, please? I need for people. What I'm going to do is read
What
Ezra.
you want me to pull up, brother?
I would like for you to bring just bring up Ezra chapter 10.
No, brother, what does that have to do with, you just said I'm not an Israelite because I have non-Israelite blood, but I just proved scientifically that I don't.
No, you said something which was, you thought was scientifical. You didn't prove nothing.
No, it is science. A child's mother, and it cannot exchange blood or it would destroy the child. It would be impossible for the child to live.
Could you show me your tests?
What do you mean?
If you can prove that.
What do you mean show you my test? It's a
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're basically telling me something, and then you're saying that it's true.
I gave you a nationally regarded scientific doctor telling you that if a woman and her child exchange blood and their blood mixed, that the baby would die. It can't happen.
Okay, now listen to this. Listen to this, brother.
Uh-huh.
All right, just listen to this. This is Ezra chapter 10, verses 1. Now, when Ezra had prayed, and when he had confessed, weeping and casting himself down before the house of God, there assembled unto him out of Israel a very great congregation of men and women and children, for the people wept very sore. And Shechaniah, the son of Jehiel, one of the sons of Elam, answered and said unto Ezra, we have trespassed against our God. Now, I know you understand trespass means sin. So we have sinned against our God. Now listen to this. And have taken strange wives of the people of the land. Yet now there is hope in Israel concerning this thing. So we have an out. We got an out plan as Israelites who are in this type of situation.
Hey, Brother
Okay?
Rob, what was you just reading from?
Ezra chapter 10, brother. Ezra chapter 10.
All right.
Okay. Now, for you brothers out here who have,
This is a rapid fire round. I don't want
Yeah.
to filibuster and get to the point, please.
okay, so for the brothers who have taken strange wives, here you go. Here go your out. Now, therefore, let us make a covenant with our God to put away all the wives and such as are born of them, according to the counsel of my Lord, and those that tremble at the commandment of our God, and let it be done according to the law. All right, now this is Ezra telling people who are Israelites that your wives and the things that come from your wives need to go, and let it be done according to the law. Now, my question to you is, what law is he referring to, sir?
Oh, I'll show you.
Okay.
So first, let's go here. Let's just read it.
What law is he referring to, sir? This is the rapid fire round, remember?
Don't worry. I'm going to show it to you right now. Now, it says verse 3. Now, therefore, let us make a covenant with our God, right?
Mhm.
It says, according to the law. So what's the law? Numbers 30 and 2. If a man vow a vow unto the Lord, or swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that he proceeded. So they're making an oath or a covenant pursuant to the law and how the law tells you to do it.
Oh, okay. Could you turn to Ezra chapter 4, please?
Of course.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
What would you want in Ezra 4?
Okay, I'm going to read something, and then I'm just ask you to explain.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when the adversaries of Judah and Benjamin heard that the children of the captivity builded the temple unto the Lord God of Israel, then they came to Zerubbabel and to the chief of the fathers, and said unto them, let us build with you, for we seek your God as ye do, and we do sacrifice unto him, since the days of Esarhaddon, the king of Ashur, which brought us up hither. Okay, so now you have Israelites saying, but we do the same things as you do, praying to the same God, sacrificing the same way. But let's see what our forefathers, the chiefs and priests and everything said.
Wait.
But Zerubbabel and Jeshua and the rest of the chiefs of the fathers of Israel said unto them, ye have nothing to do with us to build an house unto our God, but we ourselves will build unto the Lord God of Israel, as King said. All right, go ahead, bro.
Okay, so those were Israelites.
Explain verse 2 and 3, brother.
No, Rob. Those
verse 2 and 3.
I'm trying to ask you a question. So, Rob, those people who came up, those were Israelites?
Listen.
Or they were mixed people?
What?
Who was the people that are asking to build with the fathers of Israel? That's all I want to know.
Now, when the adversaries of Judah and Benjamin.
Who are those people?
Non-Israelites, people like the other half of you who ain't an Israelite.
Okay, so my question is, are you saying that these are mixed people that are coming out, or what?
No, listen.
So what's the point? What's the point of you introducing that? I know heathens cannot be building with Israelites. I understand that. So what is your question?
if heathens not supposed to be building with Israelites, how are you on earth today?
Rob, can you?
How are you on earth today?
Can you read
Ezra? If heathens are not supposed to be building with Israelites, you would not be born today.
Rob, you have to prove your premise before you can ask questions according to it.
All right, listen to me, brother.
Can we read Ezra? Let's read this. Read Ezra 2 and 59 and break it down to me, please.
Brother.
Read
Brother.
Ezra 2 and 59 and break it down to me.
Brother.
Thank you.
Brother. Listen to this. Listen. When the adversaries of Judah
Brother,
and
again, that question is not intelligible to this conversation. Okay. Ezra 2 and 50. Since you want to go to Ezra 10, you want to go to Ezra 4. Let's go to Ezra 2 and 59, please.
So now but this is the rapid fire. So do I get a rapid fire?
Rapid fire is open. I don't know.
So we both get to ask.
Everybody gets to ask questions, and you've asked me questions, and I've asked you questions. But you just asked me about Ezra 10 and 3. I gave you the answer.
No, I read Ezra 4.
It's Ezra 4, and it's an unintelligible question. You're talking about the adversaries of Judah, and you're trying to make that mixed people. You can't prove it.
No, this isn't mixed people. What I'm telling you is
let's see who it is in Ezra 4. Since you don't know, that's fine.
Wait. All right, so see, you're trying to change the narrative.
No, you're changing the narrative, and you're trying to force your understanding into the narrative. You have to ask questions that prove your point.
Okay, you brought up a lot of things. Okay,
Sure
you brought up a lot of things. Now, okay, you brought up a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now I'm trying to deal with everything you brought up in your last round. You even brought up Ruth. I want to deal with that too.
Listen. This is the rapid fire round. You got to do that in your rounds.
Oh, okay. So Ezra 2,
please.
2 and wait, hold on. Ezra 2 and 59.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And these were they which went up from Telmah to Harsa, Cherub, Adon, and Emer, but they could not show their father's house and their seed whether they were of Israel.
So it says their father's house and their seed whether they were of Israel.
No, it says, but they could not show.
Yeah, they couldn't show their father's house, but the reason I'm having you read that is because it said their father's house and their seed is what would have determined whether or not they were Israelites, not who their mother was too, because according to you, that would be a determining factor in whether or not
okay, could you read Ezra 2 and 62?
Oh, brother, just you keep...
Brother, could you read Ezra 2 and 62?
Great. Matter of fact, let's read from 59 down to 62.
No, why don't you read what I asked?
No, because I'm going to read... Rob, I'm reading...
You get 2 questions and I get 1.
Rob, I'm giving our audience the context from what I just asked you to read to what you want me to read. I'm bringing it full circle for everybody. Ezra 2 and 59. And
brother,
I'm reading, and these
read.
Which went up from Tilmah to Harsa, Cherub, Adon, and Emer, but they could not show their father's house and their seed whether they were of Israel. The children of Delilah, the children of Tobiah, the children of Nekoda, 650 and 2, and the children of the priests, the children of Habiah, the children of Cause, the children of Barzillai, which took a wife of the daughters of Barzillai the Gileadite, and was called after their name.
Keep reading.
These sought their register among those that were reckoned by genealogy, but they were not found. Therefore, they were polluted, put from the priesthood.
Okay, now let me talk. Now it's my turn to talk. Now you believe in that 12 tribes chart. You believe that Haitians are the Levites, right?
Sir.
Now, okay, these sought their register among those that were reckoned by genealogy.
Yes.
Okay, now let me ask you a question. I know that there are other people who come from Haiti. Now, I know that there are brothers who are the same age as your father, and they didn't get white women. They got Israelite women, quote unquote. They got Levite women.
Okay.
Right? Now, those children look different from you.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
Would you be allowed to serve in the temple? As according to Ezra 2 and 62.
Yes.
Could you read Ezra 2 and 62?
I'll read it. Let's read it again. Now, let's start at 61. And the children of the priests.
I asked for a specific verse.
Brother,
yeah,
I'm
going to go to the verse up. Go ahead, bro.
But it's called context, bro.
Go ahead, bro.
You're not paying attention.
I'm going to do what Polite did. And the white man, the devil.
And of the children of the priests, the children of Habiah, the children of Cause, the children of Barzillai, which took a wife of the daughters of Barzillai the Gileadite. Who are Gileadites? Rob, Who are Gileadites?
You're not gonna ask me no questions. Come on, Mamzer, keep reading. I asked you to deal with
the rapid fire round. I'm gonna do what I want to do. So who
exactly.
are Gileadites?
I
want you to substantiate that you know who Gileadites are. Who are Gileadites?
This is Ezra 2 and 62.
All right, so Gileadites are children of Manasseh. They're Hebrew Israelites.
Okay,
non-Israelites.
I wanna.
And was called after their name. These Israelites were being called Gileadites instead of Levites. They're being called another tribe of Israel, which is why they were polluted from the priesthood. They had to prove that their father was a Levite, not who their mother was, that their father was a Levite. If they could prove their father was a Levite, they wouldn't be polluted. But they didn't have the records to prove that their father was a Levite.
Okay, now listen.
It has nothing to do with the narrative trying to spin.
It's the rapid fire.
Fundamental reading.
It's the rapid fire. I'm not gonna let you bogart the whole rapid fire.
It's over.
That's how you gonna let them do that. But it's good.
Man, what are you talking about? Yo, stop. Y'all gotta stop doing that shit.
Are we supposed to talk over each other?
Y'all gotta stop doing that shit, man. Like you sit up there, you have a conversation, you know what I'm saying? You don't like the way it goes, and then you say, I'm gonna let him do that. No, you let him do that. What are you talking about?
I didn't want to mess up the show by over talking this dude.
Yeah, so y'all was talking about the same verse. He just said to you, I'm gonna read the verse before, and you was trying to make an argument about that shit. Like what that got to do with me?
Nope, nothing. Nothing at all.
All right, then, so stop doing that shit.
Nothing at all, brother. Nothing
at
all.
Like stop doing that shit. Stop when shit like all he said was let me read the verse before, and you wanted to argue with him about that shit.
This is all my fault. Hey, brother, this is all my fault.
No, just like own up to your shit. That's all, bro.
Brother, it's cool, bro. It's all my fault, bro. It's good. Alazar, if you interrupt me again, okay? During the rapid fire, like I ask you a question, you ask me one, we deal with it, and then you keep going back and forth, I'm going to get disrespectful. And I'm not talking disrespectful like, I'm going to show you that you're not even supposed to be in a congregation. I'm ready for the next round, brother.
You had 30 minutes to try to do it.
Exactly.
So just get on with it.
I haven't.
Get on with it. Stop filibustering, stop crying, and go ahead, brother. Shalom.
It's my turn.
Yes, sir, brother. When you're ready.
Ezra chapter 10.
Your 5 minutes started.
Now when Ezra had prayed and he had confessed, weeping and casting himself down before the house of God, there assembled unto him out of Israel a very great congregation of men and women and children, for the people were very sore. And I'm going to skip to verse 3. Now therefore let us make a covenant with our God to put away all the wives and such as are born of them, according to the counsel of my Lord, and those that tremble at the commandment of our God, and let it be done according to the law. That's Ezra chapter 10, verse 3. Now, what Sakari is failing to realize is that this is during the post-exilistic Babylonian captivity. This is when we were coming out of Babylon, which the reason why I brought up Ezra chapter 4 is saying that there were more people who were just around us. It wasn't just the nations that the Most High said in Deuteronomy chapter 7. Okay, there were other nations. That's why I said the people of these lands, right? Now, give me 1 second. And we're going to go to Nehemiah chapter 13, right? I'm going to open up Nehemiah chapter 13. On that day, they read in the book of Moses, in the audience of the people, and therein was found written that the Ammonite and Moabite should not come into the congregation of God forever, because they met not with the children of Israel, with bread and water, but hired Balaam against them, that they should curse them. Howbeit our God turned the curse into a blessing. Now it came to pass, when they heard the law, that they separated from Israel all the mixed multitude. Okay? Now, that mixed multitude isn't Mamzers. That mixed multitude is a group of Egyptians sitting here, a group of Canaanites sitting here, a group of this nation sitting there, a group of that nation, okay? They separated from them, all right? That's what it is, right? So I'm going to go down. Now, there was things going on. Let me scoot down to 23. Okay? In those days, also saw I Jews that had married wives of Ashdod, of Ammon and Moab. And their children spake half in the speech of Ashdod, and could not speak in the Jews' language, but according to the language of each people. Okay? So now you're going to have people who's mixed with this nation that are have Israelite daddies, and mixed with that nation that have Israelite daddies, that mix with this, right? So they can speak in the nation of whatever the mom is, right? And I contended with them and cursed them and smote certain of them, pluck off their hair, and made them swear by God, saying, Ye shall not give your daughters unto their sons, nor take their daughters unto your sons for yourselves. Sounds like Deuteronomy chapter 7. Now watch this. Did not King Solomon, king of Israel, sin by these things? Yet among many nations there was no king like him, who was beloved of his God, and God made him king over all Israel. Nevertheless, even him did outlandish women cause him to sin. Shall we hearken unto you to do all this great evil, to transgress against our God in marrying strange wives? Okay, now listen, I'm going to skip a verse to 29. Remember them, oh my God, because they have defiled the priesthood and the covenant of the priesthood and of the Levites. So this message isn't to you, Sakari. This message is to your father. Your father defiled the priesthood. Okay? You are a great Mamzer. You are the top Mamzer in Israel. But you cannot come in the temple. You cannot set foot on the stairs. Your father did this trespass. Okay? And now we got you thinking you an Israelite. When you don't look like my son. LeBron, I can't put my son, you can't put your child in LeBron James barbecue and somebody be like, oh, we don't know who that kid is. Okay? That's what that means. Okay? Now listen, I'm going to keep reading. Remember them, oh my God, because they have defiled the priesthood and the covenant of the priesthood and of the Levites. You thought you was a Levite, man, get up out of here. You not. Thus cleansed I from all the strangers. So if he cleansed them from the strangers, then your mama wouldn't be around. Because your mama's a stranger. Remember, Polite asked you, is the white man the devil? You said, yeah. Then he said, but you have white. So he said, are you half devil? You said, blah, 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 blah. You have devil. You have Horite. You have enemy.
All right. Shout out to Rob Rack. We're gonna get into this closing round with Guerrilla Hebrew. But before we do so, we gotta play this video clip real quick.
Buried in the backyard, police make a shocking discovery. What started as a missing persons report has now become a homicide investigation. It is our top story tonight.
Now, a medical examiner will ultimately make the determination of how the man died, though they say because of the visible trauma, it is a homicide case. Police tonight not releasing the name of the man.
I feel like dog.
If you see this man, this is the body of Black Jesus Minister. The body of Black Jesus Minister.
Look like Freddy Krueger got him. He's dead. That's how they smell after a while. I wonder why I took them in the soil and pick them up. Man, don't you know this is a dead body?
Hell yeah, I know it's a dead body. It's a dead body of the Black Jesus Minister.
A body was recovered in the South Branch of the Chicago River today. It was pulled from the river just a few blocks from where a boater disappeared Monday night.
There goes another body. We got another body on Solar Vision Debate League. Israel Doctrine.
Of killing 3 and critically injuring a 4th person is still on the run tonight.
Police say he's one of 2 men responsible for one murder Saturday and a double murder Tuesday.
One suspect is behind bars, but police say the second man is still out there, and investigators are anxious to track him down.
KRDO News Channel 13's Emily Allen joins us in the studio with new documents outlining one of these chilling crimes. Emily.
Bart and Heather, here are mugshots of these two men. Now, according to these documents, a witness was able to help police identify the two men in one of these murders. 3 dead in just 4 days. Police say these two men are responsible.
So if you see these two men, please contact Solar Vision Debate League. You know the number. And you don't have to leave your name. You don't have to leave your name. Once again, they bodied your boy Israel Doctrine and Black Jesus Minister. These two men right here are responsible for bodying Black Jesus Minister and Israel Doctrine. So please, when you see these people, contact Solar Vision Debate League. With that being said, we're going to now get into the final round. We're going to now get into the final round with the Guerrilla Hebrew. You're up to bat. I'm going to set the time for 5 minutes. And when you start talking, I'm going to start timing, brother.
But again, all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All regards to the families of Israel Doctrine and Black Jesus Minister, man. It happens. Niggas get shot every day. Moving on, though. I'd just like to point out, and I hope people notice that the topic of this debate was never actually, at any point in this debate, addressed by our dear beloved brother, Rob Rack. At no point did he go into what a Mamzer was. Did he prove what a Mamzer was? Did he really show it scripturally? Did he go into any definitions of it? It never happened. Also, if your premise is correct and the children begotten of heathen women in the book of Ezra were in fact Mamzers, why doesn't Ezra ever refer to them as Mamzers? Why does this word only appear 2 times in the Bible? Why isn't it being used all the time if I've just showed you countless people in the Bible who are products of Israelite men and non-Israelite women? How come, again, the Davidic king's line, you didn't address that. The Davidic king's line goes back to people who you would call Mamzers, every single one of them. All right, even if you would say Ruth is an Israelite, which you're going to have a hard time doing that because it verbatim calls her Moabitess. But even if Ruth isn't, Rehoboam's mother is an Ammonitess. There's no way around that. And every king that comes after Rehoboam, which is just 2 kings after David, is a descendant of Rehoboam, which would then make them Mamzers, because a Mamzer can't enter into their 10th generation, right? Or ever, really. So if that's the case, why is it that all these kings, these righteous men, sat on thrones and God blessed them so much if they weren't Israelites and they were Mamzers? Doesn't make any sense. Let me address your point, though, with Ezra 10, which is where y'all run to. Y'all can't go to the law. Y'all talk about the law, but you can't go to it. We've read the law, Deuteronomy 7, because people who are identified as the prohibited nations of Deuteronomy 7 were also identified in the aforementioned cases. This is why it referenced back to the law. But again, this is Ezra 10:3, and it says, "Now therefore, let us make a covenant with our God to put away all the wives, and such are born of them, according to the counsel of my Lord." Notice this is lowercase. My Lord is Ezra. "And those that tremble at the commandment of our power, and let it be done according to the law." Why was this being done? Because they allowed their children to be raised in the customs and the culture with the languages and after the idolatry of the nations that they decided to procreate with, right? In the other cases where we see brothers who had non-Israelite mothers, they were being raised in our culture. You see that? There's the difference. So Ezra saw it fit for them to be put away. This is according to Ecclesiastes 3. Ecclesiastes 3 and 5. A time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones. Israel is likened all over the Bible unto stones. So that was a time to cast away stones. But there's a time to gather stones. There's a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. That was a time to refrain from embracing. But now we're in a time of embracing. Let's prove it. And again, either way, that doesn't make them Mamzers, though, which was the topic of this discussion, for the record. Psalms 147:2, it says, "Yahweh doth build up Jerusalem. He gathered together the outcasts of Israel." These were Israelite kids that got outcast that eventually God promised he would gather back. Why? Because they're Israelites. Zephaniah 2:1, "Gather yourselves together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired." We're now commanded to gather together. So yes, they did put away some of them because they were gathered in, or they were brought up in idolatry, but now all of us were brought up in idolatry. You had 2 Israelite parents, brother, and you still worship the white Jesus on a wooden cross, right? Both of your parents led you into that. So now we're all in the same boat. Now we all speak a language that's not our own. So now we're all gathering together. And the Messiah is coming to do that, who the world calls Christ Yahushua, who you ignorantly deny. Genesis 49:10. The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet until Shiloh come, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be, meaning all the Israelites are going to be gathered. Point blank, period. I want to read these scriptures in closing rather, Genesis 17:7. And I will establish my covenant between me and thee and thy seed after thee. Thy seed. It didn't say nothing about mamas. Anybody who comes out of, and I'm going to speak very frankly here, the testicles of Abraham through Isaac and Jacob, a patrilineal seed line, that's who the covenant is made with. It didn't have an asterisk next to it that said, but if they mama ain't Israelite too, then the covenant ain't for them. That ain't there. Oh, and if a Levite can't be in the temple, if their mom is not an Israelite, why were Moses' sons in the temple? Can you explain that to me, Rob? I'll wait. I've been waiting 30 damn minutes for you to say something, for you to even relatively prove your point and substantiate your premise, and you didn't do it. You failed. And this is why I told you last time you need to work on your debating techniques, because this was atrocious tonight, my brother. Between me and thy seed, after thee, in their generations, for an everlasting covenant, to be a God.
My turn.
No, you already had your turn.
All right. Shout out to both debaters. We're going to now get into the voting. It's time to vote. It's time for you to vote for who you think won this debate. Who had the better argument tonight? Guerrilla Hebrew or Rob Rack? So, we're going to start opening the lines up, and this is for the peers only. The peers only vote is now in effect. So, let me put the number in the chat room. The number is 215-954-9091. Call now or die.
It's only 7:42.
Outside the queue. Peace. Who you vote for, brother?
Yeah, man, I gotta give it to Ron Rapp because I think the debate begins and ends after the definition of the word Mamzer, and it ain't no way to get around that. One last point, it shows you, a problem with the Bible because you have King David who was a Mamzer. It shows you that different people was writing it to other people's advantage. But yeah, that's it.
All right. So you give it to Rob Rack.
Yeah,
okay.
I gotta give it to
Thanks
Rob.
a lot, brother. We're gonna move forward. This is the peers vote only. Peer vote only. Peace. Who's this? Peace. All right. Hold on. You gotta call in on the people's vote, brother. Thank you. I just told y'all it was the peers vote. Peers vote is now in effect. Call in now. Suave Boss. State your name and who you vote for, brother. Alright. Suave Boss. He votes for Rob Rack. Alright. Call in now. Pete. Alright. Alright, Yamra Ya'u. Who you vote for, brother?
Shalom. Hey, listen, man. I gotta get to Rob, man. When the Guerrilla came with that fake science man that killed the Rob, definitely got it hands down.
Alright, no doubt, family. We're gonna move forward.
Alright, sure.
Darash. Peace, family.
What's
Who you
going
vote
on?
for?
So the argument is who had the better debate. I understood what Outside the Cube was saying, but the better the argument, the better premise, the better delivery, it all sits on the side of Alizar. So Alizar definitely won the debate. Rob Rack was too emotional. He
All right, thanks a lot, brother. All right. All right, call back, Lex. Yeah, call back, Lex. The peers' votes are now in effect. Fellow debater vote. You talking about the peers are the debaters, brother. All right. We waiting on Lex because Lex tried to call in a couple times. Peace. Who's calling? Hold on. Wait for the people's vote. When I call out the people's vote, that's when you call in. Brother Abdul. Peace. What's going on, brother? Who you vote for?
Peace, brother. I'm gonna give it to Guerrilla Hebrew. I don't even think it was close. Guerrilla won that hands down. Rob Rax was unorganized, but Guerrilla, even though I disagree with his position, he made a much better debate. So good job to both brothers, but Guerrilla Hebrew won that one.
All right, no doubt. Lex Vortex. Who you vote for, brother?
Oh man, this was a tough one. It was like Beelzebub versus Billy Al, but I'm gonna have to go with Rob Rack, man. You know, according to the Israelite culture, man, no Mamzers in the Israelite camp, man. I'm going with Rob Rack. The Howard card.
Okay, all right. All right, so the peers' vote is still in effect. Yahweh ben Nazareth. Peace. Who you vote for, brother?
Shalom, man. Guerrilla Hebrew, it was no contest. It just wasn't even a contest. Guerrilla Hebrew, hands down.
All right. Thanks a lot. All right, we're gonna move forward to. Let me see who's calling. Chris Harris is in the building. Who you vote for?
Hey, this was a good debate, a little tough, a lot of funny. Guerrilla Hebrew, you know I got love for him, but I'm gonna go with Rob Rack. His brother said his own mama was the devil. God and the devil cannot mix, let alone serve in the temple. That being said, for a night, that's right. We out.
I hope this is not the Chris Harris that's won it. I hope it's not that Chris Harris. I'm snitching. All right, call back, Gideon. Call back, Gideon. So far, we got 3 votes for Guerrilla Hebrew and 5 for Rob Rack. Peace. Who's calling? All right, wait for the people's vote. When I call the people's vote, you call back. All right, Gideon. I see you called a couple of times. Call back, brother. The peers vote is now in effect. The peers vote is now in effect. Call in now or forever hold your speech. Yo. Hello. No. You call back for the people's vote. When I call the people's vote, you call back, bro. This is the peers vote. Fellow debaters. This is time for all the fellow debaters to call in now. Call in now. G-Con. Who you vote for, brother?
What up? I'm gonna give it to Guerrilla, man. The other brother, Rob Rack, was inconsistent, man. He just ain't organized how the scriptures are saying. He was all over the place rambling. But I give it to Guerrilla.
All right, thanks a lot, bro. Gideon. Who you vote for, brother?
Well, for this debate, I had to give it to the brother Guerrilla Hebrew just for the simple fact that, if I'm not mistaken, the brother Rob Rack saying if your mother is another nation, you can't be an Israelite. That's totally false. And also, I just want to put out there real quick. And you have the congregation of Yah. The congregation of Yah is the priesthood. So that's speaking of specifically priest. So, shalom.
All right. Once again, the people's vote is now in effect. The people's vote is now in effect. We're going to give y'all guys another 30 seconds before we move to. The people's vote. The peers vote is now in effect. We're going to give you about another 30 seconds before we go to the people's vote. And so far, we are tied at 5 votes apiece between the peers. Guerrilla Hebrew, 5. Brother Rob Rack, 5. Peer vote going once, going twice. Going 3 times the lady. All right, now, people. Call in now. People, call in now. Call in now, people. Peace. State your name, who you vote for.
Hello.
Yeah, state your name, who you vote for.
Yeah, this is Stephen Martin from California, and I give my vote to.
Who? Who you vote for? All right, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Peace. State your name. State your name, who you vote for.
So, I'm going for Guerrilla Hebrew.
All right, thanks a lot. Peace. State your name, who you vote for.
Hey, this is Alex, man. Definitely Guerrilla Hebrew, man, hands down. Definitely,
all right,
man.
thanks a lot.
All right.
Peace. State your name, who you vote for.
Shalom, this is Daniel Allen. I vote for Guerrilla Hebrew.
All right. Thanks a lot. State your name and who you vote for, brother. Yes, state your name and who you vote for.
Yo, brother Dre, vote was for Alizar. He destroyed him. Show him.
All right, peace. All right. Peace.
Joshua, my vote is for Guerrilla Hebrew. You want hands down.
All right, thanks a lot. Peace. State your name and who you vote for.
I'm Alana, votes for Guerrilla Hebrew.
All right. Thanks a lot. Peace. State your name and who you vote for.
Heavyweight champion of debate. He that stay 10 toes down. Guerrilla Hebrew.
All right. Thanks a lot for your call. Peace. State your name and who you vote for.
Hey, this D. I vote for the Guerrilla dude.
All right. State your name and who you vote for.
Yo, this is Mike. I got Guerrilla Hebrew with the knockout victory in the first scripture.
All right. Thanks a lot, brother. State your name and who you vote for.
Guerrilla Hebrew.
All right. State your name, who you vote for. Peace. State your name, who you vote for.
Yeah, this is LaBelle, and I'm voting for the Mamzers of Guerrilla Hebrew.
All right. He said he voted for the Mamzers. Peace. State your name, who you vote for.
Yeah, it's the votes for Guerrilla Hebrew.
All right. Peace. All right. State your name, who you vote for.
Shalom, I gotta give it to Guerrilla.
All right, thanks a lot.
What?
Peace. State your name, who you vote for.
Yeah, this is Hassan. Votes for Sakari.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Peace, peace. State your name and who you vote for.
Hey, this is Brother Alex. I got to get that to the Guerrilla. Shalom.
All right, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. All right, so let me see. We got another call here. Peace, peace. State your name. Who you vote for?
My name is Jacob. I vote for Guerrilla Hebrew. That other dude, Rob, he got to understand that.
All right, thanks a lot, brother.
All right.
Peace, peace. State your name. Who you vote for?
Oh, what's up? This is Mount Zion, and I like to vote for Rob because it's kind of like comparing like a GMO apple to a real apple. So I'm pretty sure the Most High won't accept GMOs. But
All right, thanks a lot, brother. State your name and who you vote for. State your name and who you vote for.
My name is Mamzers, and my vote for Guerrilla Hebrew.
All right.
Shalom.
State your name and who you vote for.
Oh, there's a man down. Guerrilla Hebrew for the win, baby.
All right. State your name and who you vote for.
Hey, this is Brother Reg. I'm voting for Guerrilla Hebrew all day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Peace. State your name and who you vote for.
Yeah, this is the Father. I give it to Guerrilla Hebrew the Mamzers. Shalom.
All right. You're talking about somebody voting for the Mamzer. Peace, peace. State your name. Who you vote for?
This is Rakab. Vote for Guerrilla Hebrew.
All right.
Shalom.
All right. We allow about 2 more votes before we go on to the judges round. God damn, Guerrilla Hebrew, you got your whole generation, and you talking about the 10th generation? You got the 10th generation of motherfuckers calling in this bitch? To the 3rd, 4th generation of this motherfucker. Peace, peace, peace. Who you vote for?
I vote for Guerrilla Hebrew, hands down.
All right. All right. So, what are these fucking numbers right here? With that being said, we're going to now move on to the judges round. Thus far, we have, oh damn, we have a tie in the beginning. I thought Rob Rack run. No, it's a tie actually. Between the peer votes.
Let's get to the judges round, brother.
All right. So we get to the oh so important judges round. Right? We're going to start out with.
Please be me.
Guerrilla Hebrew. Guerrilla Hebrew, what's going on?
Yes, sir. What's up, brother?
Alright. Hold on, let me get my Bibles. I want to get my King James version. That Bible at. Alright, brother. Can we go to Deuteronomy chapter 7?
Uh-huh.
Verse 1. And we're going to read. Are you there, brother?
Yes, sir.
It says, when the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and hath cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. And when thy Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them, and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt not make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. For they turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you, and destroy thee suddenly. What does that mean to you, brother?
What does this mean to me?
Yeah. What are you getting out of that verse?
Well, basically, this is instructions on how we're supposed to conquest the land of Canaan. You know, we came out of Egypt, we wandered in the wilderness, but of course we were supposed to go into that promised land. The thing about it is, people was there, right, living in the land that was promised to us. So this is the commandment on what to do. He's saying, when y'all go up in here, y'all not supposed to be making marriages and being cool with these people and, you know, partying it up and living, you know, in equality and in this melting pot. You're supposed to go in here, you're supposed to kill these people. You know, you're supposed to destroy their altars, their gods, everything, and you're supposed to get your land. You know, so that's essentially what it means to me.
All right, so then it also said that thou shalt not, neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughters,
yes, sir,
thou shalt not take unto thy sons, and thy sons shall not marry the daughters. So, what does that particular verse mean to you? I know it's a direct verse, but in the context of the debate and the fact that he's making reference to, I'm taking that the Hittites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites are all nations other than Israel. Am I correct on that assessment?
Yes, sir.
All right. So based off of that, can you, based off of what we're reading and the context in which we're reading, can we make the assumption that the Lord God is forbidding the Israelites to not to marry any other nation?
No, I would say that would be a totally false assumption. And the reason why that would be is because it specifically names the specific nations that it's talking about. The guy who's giving us this, Moses, was married to a woman of another nation. So he's giving us this commandment. He has children that have a mother that's not of the nation. But, you know, why would he be in contradiction to that? You know what I'm saying? Like, and there's other individuals, of course, around this time who also had non-Israelite mothers or wives who weren't Israelites and produced children with them. So I believe it's just as the context says, it's just these 7 nations in particular. You know, and that's what it's talking about. Or else why would children who had non-Israelite mothers be blessed, or men be blessed and called righteous and holy and say that they did not sin who had non-Israelite wives? You know what I mean? So I would say that it's only talking about these 7 people, just like it says.
All right. The brother read, he gave you an example through the story of Samson. And the reason that he is making that, using that as an example, because it goes right along with this verse when it was suggesting that the reason why you shouldn't marry other races or other tribes of people is because they're going to turn you away from worshiping the Lord. So that's the very foundation of what this whole thing is about. It's not necessarily about messing with another tribe, just because they're different. It's because the other tribe's beliefs may conflict with the beliefs of Israel. So would you concur that that's the foundation of why they are forbidden to engage other people and mix with other people?
Yeah, I would. I could agree there in the case of the Canaanites. But again, we see examples of other peoples who it's okay to deal with, and the topic is a Mamzer a mixed person? So even if, let's say, it was wrong for them to do this, we need to be able to demonstrate that the product of that relationship would be not an Israelite, because that's his whole premise and that's the topic. But if we see Israelites deal with non-Israelites and produce a child that is what some would call mixed, and that child was regarded as an Israelite and a righteous person who God blessed, then that would defeat the premise, which I gave examples of. So it's kind of like,
all right. So what you're saying is that you're saying that, okay, even if we to entertain that argument, to suggest that, well, maybe you're forbidden to go against, marry these other nations for fear of them being turned away from worshiping the God of Israel. You're saying even if somebody was to break that, which would be going against the God and would be a sin, I guess, according to what is being commanded by them, but that doesn't make them Mamzers.
Yeah, exactly, because we see people who are products of that, and they're never ever called Mamzers. They're never called non-Israelite. They're never even called mixed at all. And that goes back to the scripture I read, and it was funny is he read it and agreed with it. Deuteronomy 21:10, it says, "When thou goest forth to war against thy enemies, and the Lord thy God hath delivered them into thine hand," of course, being non-Israelites, why they're calling them enemies, "and thou hast taken them captive," which is slaves. You're not allowed to take Israelite slaves. You can only, have other nations as slaves, right? As captive. And it says, "And seest among the captives a beautiful woman, and has a desire unto her, that thou wouldest take, what thou wouldest have her to wife." So at this point, like Rob broke down so eloquently, if we go and we conquer a people, and you see a woman that's attractive to you amongst the people who you've conquered and put in slavery, you could then deal with them. Why? Because they'll be kind of more so raised into your standards. So with that being said, it clearly shows that it's simply the union of the two people of different tribes or different nations is not the issue. But if you do it and then you start following that person, or you have kids and that kid follows that contrary culture, that's an issue. But simply virtue of dealing with them or having sex with them and reproducing with them, that isn't in and of itself an issue.
All right, so what you're saying is that for example, if a person was an Israelite was to go and mess with a Girgashite and they have a child, that wouldn't be considered a Mamzer if they are following the God of Israel.
Yeah, well, they wouldn't be considered a Mamzer no matter what, because
okay, so they wouldn't be a Mamzer even if they followed the God of the Girgashites?
Yeah, it wouldn't be a Mamzer, because in the times where we see that, like in Ezra, where he was reading, it didn't call those children Mamzers. It called them Israelites. So
all right, so let's get some clarification on this. Brother Rob.
Oh, yes, I'm here.
All right. I'm reading this verse that you showed as an argument, and I totally get the argument. I'll read it again. It says, "When the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and hath cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor shew thee mercy unto them. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughters thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son." Right? He says, "For they will turn thy son away from following me, that they may serve other gods, so will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. Okay, so if somebody was to break this, you think that they would be called Mamzers?
Yes. Okay. Now, did you could you do me two favors? I need you to pull up two things. Could you pull up the Blue Letter Bible? Because he said that only the nations commanded in Deuteronomy 7. So I want the people to see this. I want all the 85 people who called in for Guerrilla Mamzer. I want y'all to read and I want y'all to look at this. Okay, could you please pull it up?
I'm not pulling nothing up on the judges right now.
Okay, so I'm going to read 1 Kings 11:1. But King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughter of Pharaoh.
Rob,
Sir,
Hold
did I even?
hold on a second, guys. What I want to hear from you is what would be the penalty of when somebody breaks what is being said to the Lord thy God. Okay, what somebody go and mess with one of the Girgashites, what would be the penalty?
What would be the penalty? Okay, could you I'm going to read, let me pull it up. Nehemiah chapter.
That's not the law, though. Nehemiah is not the law or the penalty.
I did. You said what's the penalty?
Yeah, that would be in the law. If it's against the law, the penalties for breaking the law are found in the law. So where is the penalty in the law?
There is.
Go ahead to the verse that you going to, bro.
Oh, okay. Nehemiah chapter 9. Right now, let me pull it up. I want to read it. Oh no, I'm in Ezra. Shoot. Sorry, Ezra 10.
All right.
Now, yeah, my bad. Ezra chapter 10. Now, therefore, I'm going to read Ezra chapter 2. And Shechaniah, the son of Jehiel, one of the sons of Elam, answered and said unto Ezra.
Now, you said Ezra chapter 10?
Huh? Ezra chapter 10. Verse 2 and 3.
Verse 2 and 3. All right, go ahead, bro.
All right. We have trespassed against our God and have taken strange wives of the people of the land.
Now, you said Ezra chapter 10.
Yes, sir. Chapter 10, verse 2.
All right.
Okay. And if I do not get this out, I want you Mamzers to read Ruth chapter 3, verse 9 and 12. We go deal with that. Okay, so and have taken strange wives of the people of the land. Okay. Now, yet there's hope in Israel concerning this thing. So Ezra let us know that there is a way that we can remedy this situation and fix it. Now, here is the remedy. Here is the penalty and the way to fix this. Now, therefore, let us make a covenant with our God to put away all the wives and such as are born of them, according to the counsel of my Lord. Now, Guerrilla Hebrew said, that's lowercase Lord. Now, watch this. And of those that tremble at the commandment of our God, and let it be done according to the law. Now, Ezra didn't say this because he didn't like children from Ashdod and the Zidonians and the Egyptians. He said it, let it be done according to the law. All right. Now, and then if you keep, and then
what law are they doing that according?
All right, hold on, Guerrilla. So what are you saying is the penalty for them if they married another nation?
Wait, listen. I'm going to skip down to, I can read verse Ezra 10 and 9. I'm going to read 10 and 10 and 10, 11. And Ezra the priest stood up and said unto them, ye have transgressed and have taken strange wives to increase the trespass of Israel. Now therefore make a confession unto the Lord God of your fathers, and do his pleasure, and separate yourselves from the people of the land and from the strange wives. Then all the congregation answered and said with a loud voice, as thou said, so we must do. So the penalty is you had to get rid of your family. Okay? See, he wants to bring up Deuteronomy 21 when the Israelites haven't.
Wait. All right, we got what the penalty is. All right,
Okay,
so
okay,
so you're saying separate themselves from your separate yourselves from the people of the land and from the strange wives. Okay, I got that
Ezra
part.
chapter 10 verse 11.
Yes, sir. And so are you trying to say that they're mamzers because of that, or?
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay. Could you? We need to. I can't screen share. Okay, so in Deuteronomy, because Mamzer shows up in 2 verses. Deuteronomy 23, right, is 1. Okay, so Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 2. All right, and the law that Ezra was talking about is Deuteronomy 7. Okay, but this is Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 2. A bastard. Now, Mamzer is H, as in Hebrews 44:64. Now, I need for you brothers and sisters out there to open up the Blue Letter Bible just as Sakari did. And I want you to go see, he used the outline of biblical usage. I'm going to read what it says under Strong's definitions. Okay?
But the outline of biblical usage is how the
Bible. Sir, did I open my mouth, Mamzer?
Hold on, Solar.
Mamzer.
Hold on one second.
Solar, with all due respect,
I eat born of a Jewish father and a heathen mother.
This is my round. This is my round in the judges round. I've never seen another person be able to filibuster to this level during somebody else.
Meaning.
Hold on a second. Wait.
To alienate a mongrel. I eat born of a Jewish father and heathen mother.
Wow.
Strong's definition.
I read that already.
Hold on, Guerrilla Hebrew. I'm trying to get some clarity.
Why somebody else could talk this much during my section of the judges round.
Right, brother. Because I'm getting clarity from what he's saying pertaining to what would be the penalty for the verse that he said in Deuteronomy 7. All right, now go ahead, brother. You was reading 23.
Yeah. Okay. If someone was to open up Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 2. All right. And then they was to open up tools and click the word for Mamzer. And click Mamzer and read Strong's definition. I'm going to read it. I'm going to quote Strong's definitions. Mamzer, from an unused root meaning to alienate. Semicolon, a mongrel, i.e. born of a Jewish father and heathen mother. Now you can do a quick Google definition, dictionary.com.
Can you read the other definition?
Hey, Guerrilla Hebrew. Guerrilla Hebrew, you got to be quiet while the brother is breaking the thing down.
I got to be quiet during my own judges round.
This is my judges round, brother.
Okay, but you called on me.
I called on you, then I called on him, bro.
Because is my turn over?
You're not allowed.
No, your turn is not over. I got this. I got this, bro. I got this, bro. Just chill out.
But Sola, I just want you to understand, brother. As many debates have I done, this is unprecedented. This is why I'm taking.
All right, well, it's always something new going on this debate league. This is how I'm judging it right now.
All right, Cam. Salaki.
All right, go ahead, bro.
All right, I'm going to read Mamzer, the Strong's definition. Now, you don't have to use Strong's. You can use Brown, Drivers, and Briggs, or Brown.
All right, just go ahead and read it, bro.
Okay. From an unused root meaning to alienate a mongrel, i.e. born of a Jewish father and heathen mother. All right? So, that's the definition of a mamzer. All right? You can go into Greek. Type in G241 in Google. It'll pull it up. Allergenes of a different race. Okay? Now, basically what I'm trying to say is this is the penalty. Now, I will personally, Solarmon, you can hold this to me. I will personally send someone $1,000.
Brother, just read the verse, bro.
I did. Oh, Deuteronomy 23 and 2. A bastard shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord, even to his 10th generation shall he not enter into the congregation. And I just went over the word bastard. It's a mongrel. So
all right,
basically,
thanks a lot, bro. Thanks a lot.
Okay, yeah, that's the answer.
All right, thanks a lot, bro.
Yes, sir.
Guerrilla Hebrew.
Yes, sir.
Well, according to his argument, going back to Deuteronomy 7, and also he corroborated it with Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 2, suggesting that a mamzer is actually a person that has a Jewish father and a bastard and a heathen mother, for lack of a better word, right? Do you concur with that definition of a mamzer?
No, sir. There are other definitions
So
of
do
it,
you?
and I.
So he read one definition of what a mamzer was.
Yes, sir. He read one definition.
Do you concur with that definition?
No, sir. We don't see that in Scripture ever being used like that.
All right. So what is this bastard talking about in Deuteronomy 23?
Here's a definition. I have it pulled up here on my screen. And the primary definition is as a child of incest or an illegitimate child. That's why I went to in Deuteronomy 23, 2. It says a bastard shall not enter to the 10th generation. Then in verse 3 it says a Moabite or Ammonite shall not enter into the 10th generation. Then I went to Genesis 19 to show how the Moabites and Ammonites are products of incest, right?
Strong's definitions, brother.
Yo, be quiet, yo. Be quiet.
Hold on. I read all of it because it says
Just
yo, be quiet.
Listen,
be quiet.
It says bastard, child of incest, illegitimate child, bastard, mixed population, figurative. And then the final definition is Jewish father and heathen mother. But again, it only is used twice. So there's.
That's the outline of biblical usage, brother.
Yo. Say something else again, Rob. Say something else again. I dare you. Say something else again. Go ahead, man.
Appreciate you. He's criticizing me for going to the outline of biblical usage, but there's a reason why it says outline of biblical usage, because it's talking about how it's used in the Bible, which is what we're debating about. So this is what is the precedent, the outline of biblical usage. So I want to read this. This is Wisdom of Solomon 4:3, and it says, "But the multiplying of the brood of the ungodly shall not thrive, nor take deep rooting from bastard slips, nor lay any foundation." So the subject is bastards, right? So then it ends here to say, "For children begotten on unlawful beds are witnesses of the wickedness against their parents in their trial," right? So it's clearly showing you an unlawful bed or an illegitimate bed. The product of that would be a bastard or a mamzer, like in the case of Moab and Ammon, who are products of incest. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me grab this. Because Wisdom of Solomon is written in Greek, or the only copy that's available is written in Greek. So I want to get that word from it, because he said that word has a Greek equivalent. He brought that up. So I have the Bowers Greek lexicon here in front of me. It's the authoritative Greek lexicon when it comes to the Bible. And this is on page 540. Anybody can find this at the bottom. And the word for bastard just means born out of wedlock, illegitimate. That's what it means. It doesn't say mixed or anything like that, born out of wedlock or illegitimate, which is why you have to call certain times the Strong's into question, because they put that definition of it being mixed last, but the verse is only used 2 times. So if there's 4 different definitions for a word that's only used twice, we have to take a look at how it's used to see what definition makes the most sense in context. And if we can see all these mixed people in the Bible being kings, being righteous, being blessed by God, they can't be mamzers. It just is, it just doesn't make sense.
All right, so it says, a bastard shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord, even to his 10th generation shall he not enter into the congregation of the Lord. An Amorite or Moabite shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord, even to the 10th generation shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord forever, because they met you not with bread and with water in the way when you came out of Egypt, and because they hired against thee Balaam, the son of Bor and Pethor of Mesopotamia, to curse thee. It says, a bastard shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord, even to his 10th generation shall he not enter into the congregation of the Lord. An Amorite or Moabite shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord, even to their 10th generation shall they not enter into the congregation of the Lord forever. So why can an Amorite or a Moabite enter into the congregation of the Lord?
right here. This is Genesis 19:36, and it says, "Thus were both the daughters of Lot with child by their father." Right, incest would be one of the laws against God that's forbidden. Right, so that would be an illegitimate birth, somebody who was birthed by the product of incest. It says, "And the firstborn bare a son and called his name Moab. The same is the father of the Moabites unto this day. And the younger she also bare a son and called his name Ben-Ami. The same is the father of the children of Ammon unto this day." So notice it's saying the same thing about a bastard that it's saying about Moab and Ammon, that they cannot enter to their 10th generation. You see what I'm saying? So it stands to reason that if the prime definition is a child of incest, these are products of incest, right? Illegitimate children, illegitimate births, that would make, to me at least, the most sense for what the word actually means.
All right, can you turn to Ezra chapter 10, verse 3?
Yes, sir.
So I guess we could start from
10-3. Yes, sir, I got it.
Okay, let's start from the top. It says, "Now when Ezra had prayed and when he had confessed, weeping and casting himself down before the house of God, there assembled unto him out of Israel a very great congregation of men and women and children, for the people wept very sore." I don't even know what's how you pronounce that?
Let me see.
Shechani. Yeah.
Hold on, where you at? 3?
Verse 2.
Oh, my apologies. Elam. Oh, Shechaniah.
Oh, okay. Shechaniah, the son of Jehiel, one of the sons of Elam, answered and said unto Ezra, "We have trespassed against our God and have taken strange wives of the people of the land. Yet now there is hope in Israel concerning this thing. Now therefore let us make a covenant with our God to put away all the wives and such as are born of them, according to the counsel of my Lord, and of those that tremble at the commandment of our God, and let it be done according to the law." So what was the law concerning when somebody has taken a strange wife? What do you know the law that is that they're referring to in this verse?
No, there's not a law about taking a strange wife. That's why we have to deal with this in context. Like,
so what does it mean when he said and let those that tremble? Huh?
Now look, now watch this. Verse 3. "Now therefore let us make a covenant with our God to put away all the wives and such as are born of them, according to the counsel of our Lord, and those that tremble at the commandment of our God, and let it be done according to the law." The topic here is the covenant that's being made, because there's not a law, as you can see, as he has it displayed throughout tonight, that says you have to do this, right? Ezra and Nehemiah are law, of course, of the first 5 books. You know that. So it says, let us make a covenant. That's why when he asked me that on the round, I took him here, right here, Numbers 30:2. "If a man vow a vow unto the Lord, or swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceedeth out of his mouth." So when they say, let's make an oath or let's make a covenant with our God, it's saying that you swear an oath and you keep it. You see, according to the law, not just you're just going to say you're going to do it. You're going to swear to the Most High that you're going to do this, because you can't demonstrate in the law where we're told to do any of this, put away wives and children for this reason. That's never anywhere in the law at all.
So when it says, "and we have trespassed against our God and have taken strange wives of the people of the land," why is that forbidden?
That goes back to Deuteronomy 7 when it says strange wives of the people of the land. What's the land? In the land of Israel, which is also the land of Canaan. Those are the Canaanite nations that we're forbidden to deal with, right?
So this verse on Ezra was talking about the Canaanites?
Yeah, because if we go, where is it? A little bit before, is it 9? It's 8 or 9, where and he read it during the debate, where it identifies the various people groups. See, look, the Perizzites, the Jebusites, you see the Canaanites, the Hittites. These are some of the same nations that we see in Deuteronomy 7. So that would have to be what it's talking about, because there's no other nations that this is said about in the law.
Right.
And also, just real quick, if I could, right, because we have King Rehoboam, right, and it tells us here in 1 Kings 14:21 that his mother was Naamah the Ammonitess, right? So he was half Moabite, right? His mom was a Moabite, right? But watch this. And remember what we just read about the Moabites, right? So that they can't enter into the congregation.
Let's go to Ezra, chapter 4.
Real quick, can I make this point real quick, and I'll go right there.
Okay, you want to finish your point? Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, just real quick. You remember in Deuteronomy 23 it said a Moabite can't enter and an Ammonite can't enter, right?
Right.
So Rehoboam, his mother, it tells us here in 1 Kings 14:21, it says his mother was Naamah, an Ammonitess, right? So his mom is an Ammonite. He's technically half Ammonite. That's what Rob would say is a Mamzer, right? And it says they can't enter the congregation. But watch this. 2 Chronicles 12:10, it says, instead of which King Rehoboam made shields of brass and committed them to the hands of the chief of the guard that kept the interests of the king's house. And when the king, King Rehoboam, entered into the house of the Lord, that's the congregation, the guard came and fetched them and brought them into the guard chamber. So we clearly see somebody who has an Ammonite mother entering into the congregation. This wasn't a problem during that time. So if he can do that, then that would disqualify the whole ideology and premise. But you asked about Ezra 4.
Yeah. Ezra 4 and 2 and 3.
You said what verses?
Ezra chapter 4.
Okay. What you want to? Are you going to read it?
Then they came to Zerubbabel and to the chiefs of the fathers and said unto them, let us build with you, for we seek your God as ye do, and we do sacrifice unto him since the days of Esadar. I don't know fuck these Bible names. Asaradon, king of Asar, which brought us hither. And Zerubbabel and Jeshua and the rest of the chiefs of the fathers of Israel said unto them, ye have nothing to do with us to build an house unto our God, but we ourselves together will build unto the house of Israel, as King Cyrus, the king of Persia, hath commanded us. What are you getting out of this verse right here, brother?
I'll show you. It says here, right? It says the name you had a problem with. It says we do sacrifice unto him since the days of Assuradon, king of Ashur, right? So this is telling you who the people are. So let's go to 2 Kings, and it's going to identify these people. And it says, and the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon and from Cutha and from Ava and from Hamath and from Sepharvaim and placed them in the cities of Samaria instead of the children of Israel. So those people were not Israelites. They were placed in the stead of the children of Israel. And they possessed Samaria and dwelt in the cities thereof, right? And so it was at the beginning of their dwelling place that they feared not the Lord. Therefore the Lord sent lions among them, which slew some of them. Wherefore they spake to the king of Assyria, the nations which thou hast removed and placed in the cities of Samaria, non-Israelites, know not the manner of the God of the land. Therefore he hath sent lions among them, and behold, they slay them, because they know not the manner of the God of that land. Then the king of Assyria commanded, saying, carry thither one of the priests, whom ye brought from thence, and let them go and dwell there, and let them teach them the manner of the God of the land. Right? So I want to get to the point. The point is here, right? So verse 33, it says, they feared the Lord and they served their own gods. So these are the people that Assuradon brought, and they feared the Lord. What does that mean? That's what it's talking about when they say they sacrificed to him. They were brought there and they sacrificed to him because he was sending those lions against them. So he started to sacrifice to him to appease him. So that's who these people are, and that's what it's talking about. That's the historical precept to it.
All right, thanks a lot, brother. We're gonna go now to
all praise, appreciate you.
Rob Rack.
Yes, sir. I'm right here.
All right, let's go to Deuteronomy. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 21.
Yes, sir.
You there, brother?
Yeah, I'm right here. You can hear me?
It says, when thou goest forth to war against thy enemies, And the Lord thy God hath delivered them into thy hands, and thou hast taken them captive, and seest among the captives a beautiful woman, and hast a desire unto her, that thou wouldest have her to thy wife. Then thou shalt bring her home to thy house, and she shall shave her head and pare her nails. And she shall put the raiment of her captivity from off her, and shall remain in thy house, and bewail her father and her mother a full month. And after that thou shalt go in unto her, and be her husband, and she shall be thy wife. What are you getting out of that?
What I get is that when the Israelites go to war, when the Israelites as a nation go to war against their enemies, and when those enemies of the Israelites and of the Most High are defeated and captured, then when an Israelite man of war sees a woman who he feels is worthy to be his wife, then the process is as such follows. Then he shall bring her home. Now this is after the children of Israel went to war against the people. Now she's in mourning. Okay, she's wailing over the fact that her brothers, her cousins, her uncles are been done killed. They got killed by Israelites. Okay, Israelites did this to her people. Okay, so when you bring her home to your house, she's supposed to shave her head and pare her nails, because this was a process of mourning, and also it was to show that the Israelites have a code of conduct. Okay. Now, and then it says in verse 13, she shall put the raiment of her captivity from off of her, and she shall remain in thine house, and bewail her father and mother a full month. So after the Israelites went to war against a certain people, after those people were defeated, after the women were captive, after you chose to overlook Israelite women of all tribes, then you chose to pick that dog. Then there's a process to cut her hair and shave her nails, right? And then her duty is to go be with her parents and be like, oh, my people lost, and then she shall be your wife. Now, the thing with the people who claim that they can use this verse as to use to say, well, this is the reason why my wife is not an Israelite. I need the person to show me, when did you go out with the other 11 tribes of Israel to go forth to war against her people? I need you to show me where she shaved her head and pared her nails. She went home for a month. She was crying over her brother and her cousin who was killed by somebody like me, or somebody like whoever else is an Israelite, a man of war. And then, after all that, and then you shall marry her, and then she shall be your wife. See, a lot of brothers use this when they meet a non-Israelite woman in a club. Oh, I bought her a drink, she was cool, and then 2 years later, we got a baby. Nah, you can't use this story or this law to say, this is how I got my wife. Because I didn't go to war against her people. If your wife is white, there are white people, there are white women officers going up into people's houses shooting black men. I didn't go to war against her brother.
All right,
see?
brother.
All right.
Yeah, brother, all right, so it's clearly saying that they can have, under those conditions, they can have sex and have children with them.
Yeah,
right?
Yes, sir. Under those conditions.
Right. So
those conditions haven't happened, sir, in over 2,000 years, sir.
Right. So
you can't use that.
According to turn to Deuteronomy chapter 7.
I'm already here.
All right. Deuteronomy chapter 7. It says, When the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, shall smite them and utterly destroy them, thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor shalt thou show thee mercy, neither shalt thou make marriages with them, thy daughters thou shalt not give unto the sons, nor his daughters, da 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 da. We already know, right? So,
yeah.
According to this verse, it's saying that, when the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land against the nations that is greater and mightier than thou, and once they are conquered, you shall not, mess with their daughters. Is that what you're getting out of that?
Wait. Yeah, once we conquered, so wait.
Yeah, it says, when the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it. So you're saying, when the Lord thy God shall bring you into the land to conquer, so going to possess it, right? It says, and have cast out many nations before thee. And casting out, that's kicking people ass. And casting out many nations before thee. So I'm kicking the Hittites' ass, I'm kicking the Girgashites, I'm kicking the Amorites' ass, I'm kicking the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. Right? 7 nations that are greater and mightier than thou. So it's saying, and when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughters thou shalt not give unto his son. And the reason why is because they could convince them of eventually, believing in other gods, right?
Yes.
So why is it saying this on this hand, right? Because they conquered them. They beat their ass. They conquered them. So why isn't he saying the same thing as what he said in chapter 21?
We didn't totally conquer all the Canaanite nations.
But what I'm saying, okay. But what it's saying, what this is saying here, and utterly destroy them. That's what it's saying.
Yeah.
Utterly destroy them. That's mean I beat them up and I stomped them and I spit on them motherfuckers, right? All right, so they're done. We
should not make no covenant with them.
Right. So they're done. Their ass is kicked. So why isn't it saying the same thing like it says right here in 21, where it says 23. What it says, 23 verse 2? Yeah, it says in 23 verse 2, it says, a bastard shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord, even unto the 10th generations. The Amorites, the Moabites shall not enter into the congregation until the 10th generation. Hold on, what was the verse you just showed me? That was Deuteronomy 23? We were just reading?
That was Deuteronomy 21, 10 through like 13 or 14. Sakari brought that up, Guerrilla Hebrew, the Alazar. And then I was speaking on it.
Oh, yeah. Deuteronomy 21 and 10. I'm sorry. It was Deuteronomy 21 and 10. It was saying that Deuteronomy.
So your question is basically, how come the Most High says that you're not supposed to make marriages with the people?
Yeah, it says in Deuteronomy 20:10, it says, when thou goest to war against thy enemies, and the Lord thy God hath delivered them into thy hands, and thou shalt take them captive.
Yeah.
And see,
why
isn't that root word being applied here?
Because when you are in a position of power, you make the people follow your gods. So
but he said that they utterly destroyed them.
Okay, in Judges chapter Judges, or is it Joshua? Wait. Let me see. Joshua, because in I think it's Judges 1. Let me just okay. So or is it 2 or 3? These are the nations. 1, 2. Okay, Judges chapter 3. Now these are the nations which the Lord left to prove Israel by them, even as many as Israel had not known in all the wars of Canaan. So we did not utterly destroy them, because in the book of Judges, it says that we went to war and we beat them down.
No,
but then
but that's not what the verse is talking about.
Yeah, but your premise is the fact that
no, the verse is saying when you utterly destroy them, whenever that shit happens. So what I'm saying to you is that how come that same rubric isn't being applied to what is being said here in 21:10?
Because we would be in a position of power. In Deuteronomy chapter
brother. It says whenever you utter. I mean, they Deuteronomy and the verse you about to read in Judges, maybe they didn't utterly destroy them yet. But when it says, how come what I'm saying, it says when you utterly destroy them. And utterly destroy them, that means they done. Them niggas is dead.
Yes.
Alright, so why do you think that the same rule isn't being applied here as what it's saying in 21 and 10 to Deuteronomy chapters 7 and 1, bro?
Because we will be subject to their gods.
So the people that you conquer and kick their ass and stomp them motherfuckers out, you gonna still worship their God?
No, they gonna worship our God because we conquered them.
So that's what I'm saying to you. Let me read it again. Maybe I'm reading this shit wrong. It says, when the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land without goest to possess it, and cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, Girgashites, Amorites, Canaanites, Perizzites, Hivites, Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou, and when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, and whenever that happens, and when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them, and make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Neither shalt thou make marriages with thy daughters, because we already know that because they could convince you of worshiping other gods, right?
So brother, I'm going to go read 1 Chronicles chapter 18. Okay, now after this it came to pass that David smote the Philistines and subdued them, and took Goth and her towns out of the hand of Philistines, and he smote Moab, and the Moabites became David's servants and brought gifts. And David smote Hadadezer, king of Zobah, unto Hamath if he went. So, and David took from him 1,000 chariots. So this in 1 Chronicles 18 shows you that King David beat some of these nations up. Okay, now in 1 King chapter 11, when you have King Solomon, he loved many strange women. Okay, the daughter of Pharaoh, the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites, of the nations concerning which the Lord said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go into them, neither shall they come into unto you, for surely they will turn your hearts after other gods. Solomon clave unto these in love. Right? Now, for when it came to pass, when Solomon was old, that his wives turned away his heart after other gods, and his heart was not perfect with the Lord his God, as was his heart of David his father. For Solomon went after Ashtaroth, the goddess of the Zidonians, and after Milcom, the abomination of the Ammonites.
So he conquered them, right?
Right? So, no, King David did that, right? So now you said that, and after that, King David conquered them.
Right.
Now after that, Solomon came into a kingdom that was already ruled by the Israelites, because King David. So now King Solomon can't use that argument. And also, King Solomon had to write out the Torah, so he knew the law.
All right, so it was a certain rubric that he could went by according to 21 and 10, right?
No.
So that don't apply to him. Because 21 and 10.
Because they have laws. A king can't multiply wives unto himself. All right, but Solomon did. Okay, but Solomon did not go to war my brother. See, you're
Okay, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, brother. You're saying that it says when thou goes forth to war against thy enemy. So this is only time during the time of warfare. You're saying.
Thank you.
That this is applied. That's just like the United States going over there in Afghanistan, and they can rape some of the women over there.
Yeah, no. If it's peacetime, ain't none of that happening.
All right, I get what you're saying, bro. Guerrilla Hebrew.
Yes, sir.
Can you pull up those verses where you were showing how the kings of Israel were, according to his definition of Mamzers?
Yeah. Let me share my screen real quick. Where was I at? First, let's go to 1 Kings 14:21, and it said that Rehoboam the son of Solomon reigned in Judah. Rehoboam was 41 years old, and when he began to reign, and he reigned 17 years in Jerusalem, the city which the Lord did choose out of all the tribes of Israel to put his name there, and his mother's name was Naamah, an Ammonitess. Right? So then we go to Book of Ruth 4:13. On 13 it says, so Boaz took Ruth. Ruth again, she's the Moabitess, right? Where is it? Clarify it so just we can. What verse? Okay, yeah, moreover Ruth the Moabitess, right? So she's called a Moabite. Now she bare a son, right? Now, and when the women, her neighbors, gave it a name, saying, "There is a son born to Naomi," they called his name Obed. He is the father of Jesse, the father of David. So also King David would be a part of that, which would just ultimately go to his whole lineage. But then you have guys like Rehoboam and Absalom as well, who Absalom. Hold on, real quick. Let me get the scripture on Absalom. Where we at? 1 Chronicles 3. Yeah. 1 second. So you got David would be a Mamzer according to his definition. As with Rehoboam the king, who I showed entered into the congregation. So let's go here. 1 Chronicles, no, 2 Chronicles, my fault. The 2 Chronicles, yeah. Man, I'm bugging. Hold on.
No, you got 1 Chronicles 2 and 3, 2, 3, and 4. Is that?
There we go. 1 Chronicles 2. My fault.
Yeah, I wrote that one down.
Yeah. So I'll just reiterate it again. Yes, as it says, as we see the Canaanites, and then we see what's this other verse? My fault, man. I'm really tripping. 3 and 2. 1 Chronicles. Oh no, it's 1 Chronicles 3. All right. Now I'm together. Right. So yeah, here we go. The third, Absalom, the son of Maacah, the daughter of Talmai of Jeshur. Right. So Jeshur, that's the Jeshurites, the Hamites. Right. But we see this in 1 Samuel, or 2 Samuel rather, 19:10. See the same Absalom, whose mother is a Canaanite or a Hamite, and Absalom, whom we anointed over us, is dead in battle. So he was anointed king over Israel, but he died in battle. So those are just, Rehoboam, Absalom, and David himself would all be considered Mamzers according to the definition provided by Robert.
All right, show me the first one that you showed. The first one.
Okay, Rehoboam. All right. Where we at? 2 Kings. Or 1 Kings rather, 14:21. It says, and Rehoboam, the son of Solomon, reigned in Judah. Rehoboam was 41 years old when he began to reign. He reigned 17 years in Jerusalem, the city of that the Lord did choose out of all the tribes of Israel to put his name there. And his mother's name was Naamah, the Ammonitess. And we see here He's the king identified in 2 Chronicles 2:10, and it says, "And when the king entered into the house of the Lord, which is the congregation." So he had an Ammonite mother, he was half Ammonite, but he entered into the congregation, which it says the Ammonite king.
All right, brother. Rob, do you believe that he was a Mamzer?
Hello. Wait. Okay. My bad. I'm trying to screen share. It's not working right. Okay. The question is, do I believe? Say it again.
Do you believe that that king was a Mamzer?
That who was a Mamzer? King.
What was the name of that king again? Guerrilla.
King Rehoboam.
King Rehoboam.
Oh. Wait. Where are we at? 2 Chronicles 10. Yeah.
He was a Mamzer.
Wait. Rehoboam's. Hold on, sir.
First Kings 14-21, King.
I know. Hold on. Because I knew that you were going to go here. Let me just let me find it. Rehoboam.
1 Kings 14-21.
14-21. Okay. And then
Solar, we still live?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My bad. It says off air on my thing. My bad. It's tripping.
Oh yeah. Y'all off air on the actual John because I got it on I got it on the what you call.
Oh, on the OBS.
Yeah, I got it on OBS. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Do I believe that Rehoboam was a Mamzer? Yeah. Yes. According to the definition, yes. And that's particularly why the kingdom of Israel split.
All right, so you're saying that he was a so why was he allowed into the temple?
What? I need the chapter and verse where it says he was allowed in the temple.
He just read it to you. Go to the verse, Guerrilla Hebrew.
2 Chronicles 12:10-11.
2 Chronicles 12:10-11.
And actually, read to 12.
Read where?
To verse 12. Verse 10 to verse 12.
Okay, 2 Chronicles 12:10-12. It says, instead of which the king Rehoboam made shields of brass and committed them to the hands of the chiefs of the guard that kept the entrance of the king's house. And when the king entered into the house of the Lord, the guard came and fetched them and brought them again into the guard chamber. So he went into the house of the Lord.
Okay, and I'm going to keep reading. And when he humbled himself, the wrath of the Lord turned from him, that he would not destroy him altogether. And also in Judah, things went well. Now I'm going to keep reading real quick. So King Rehoboam, we're going to skip verse 2 Chronicles 12-13 and go straight to 14. And he did evil because he prepared not his heart to seek the Lord. Now, in the acts of Rehoboam, first and last, are they not written in the book of Shemaiah, the prophet, and Iddo, the seer, concerning genealogies? And there were wars continually between Rehoboam and Jeroboam continually. Okay, so you're saying that Rehoboam was allowed in the temple. Well, the temple was split. Allowed in the temple to do what, brother? Because when you say allowed in the temple, like you can allow me in your house and then I can mess it up. But I'm saying allowed in the temple to do what? Because when I keep reading further, tell me, was it good or was it bad when he went into the temple?
Well, it says
according to chapter 12, verse 14, what this Mamzer did, sir, was it good or bad, sir?
Well, verse 12 tells you it was good. Then after he left the temple, he did some bad things, but him entering to the temple was fine. And then verse 12 says he humbled himself, and the wrath of the Lord turned from him. So if it was unlawful for him to enter the temple,
what does verse 14 say?
Hold on, Guerrilla. It says, and when he humbled himself, the wrath of the Lord turned from him, that he would not destroy him altogether. And also in Judah, things went well. So King Rehoboam strengthened himself in Jerusalem and reigned, for Rehoboam was one of 40 years old when he began to reign, And he reigned 17 years in Jerusalem, the city which the Lord had chosen out of all the tribes of Israel, to put his name there. And his mother's name was Nehemiah the Amorites. And he did evil because he prepared not his heart to seek the Lord. Now the acts of Rehoboam, first and last, are they not written in the book of Shemaiah the prophet and the idol the seer concerning genealogies? And there were wars between Rehoboam and Jeroboam continually.
And also, Brother Solomon, the brother Alazar has yet to bring up Leviticus 18, which is the law of quote unquote incest. Okay, and we are commanded not to do these things. Okay, we are commanded not to do these things, right? So now his premise on this section is that was Rehoboam allowed in the temple? And he said he went to the house of the Lord. And I said, to do what? And you read what we read in verse 12.
Yeah, so he wasn't. Okay. I mean, wasn't the rule though that he was like any person that was a mamzer was not allowed into the house of the Lord?
Sir, when you're the king, sir,
so how can a mamzer become king then? How can a mamzer become king?
Hold on. House of David. Hold on. Hold on. 1 Kings 11. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Okay, 1 Kings 8 and 25. But then also 1 Kings 2 and 4.
Which one you want? Which one you want, bro?
Either one. 1 Kings 9 and 5. Either one.
You said 1 Kings 8 and 25?
Yes.
It says, therefore now, Lord God of Israel, keep with thy servant David my father, that thou permittest him, saying that there shall not fail thee a man in my sight to sit on the throne of Israel, so that thy children take heed to their way, that they walk before me as thou hast walked before me.
So basically, that the children of David, the seed of David, the house of David will never have to fail a man, meaning that the Most High is always going to choose someone from the house of David. Okay, now because of Solomon's sin and because of the Israelites' continual sin, the Most High is not just choosing the direct seed of Israel anymore. He's going to choose from the house of David. So all of the descendants from all of King David's children.
So was David a mamzer?
No, sir. Could you go to Ruth chapter 3, verse 2? I should have brought this out earlier. I'll read it.
Now you said Ruth what?
Ruth chapter 3, verse 2. But I really, really, really want you to read 9 and 12.
Now read 2, 9 and 12.
Yes, sir.
It says, and now is not Boaz of our kindred, with whose maidens thou wast. Behold, he winnoweth barley tonight in the threshing floor.
Okay, stop right there. My bad, brother. Ruth 3 and 1. I'm gonna read it real quick. Then Naomi, her mother-in-law. This is talking about Ruth. Then Naomi, Ruth's mother-in-law, said unto her, my daughter, shall I not seek rest for thee, that it may be well with thee? Right? And then you get to, so she's talking to Ruth. Now, in Ruth chapter 3, verse 1, Naomi is talking to Ruth, and it continues. Now watch this. She's talking to Ruth. And now is not Boaz of our kindred. So Naomi, who's an Israelite, is talking to Ruth, who some people try to say she was a Moabite as the descendant from Lot, when she was just a citizen of Moab. And I can prove that. Okay, so, and I will prove that. So now Ruth 3 and 2, she's continuing the thought, and now is not Boaz of our kindred. Kindred, if you look it up, that's people, brother, nation, tribe, right? Okay, think like that. So I'm going to read Ruth chapter 3 and 9. And he said, who art thou? And she answered, I am Ruth, thine handmaid. Spread therefore thy skirt over thine handmaid, for thou art a near kinsman. That means we kind of family related. Now I'm going to read verse 12.
It says, for thou art a near kinsman.
Yes. And you want me to show you how that's family?
Well, I mean, it's the reason why I'm saying
not actual family. Like
that's saying like, you know, you're close to being family. Like near is like close.
Your people. No, like your people. You know how?
Yeah, I mean, you know, in today's terms, I would say that's my peoples. But you're saying near kinsman, that's like a friend of the family type shit.
Yes, that's what I'm. Yes. Okay, cool.
But it's not the blood, though, right?
Yes, not the blood. Now, listen, read Ruth chapter 3, verse 12, sir.
It says, and now it is true that I am thy near kinsman, howbeit there is a kinsman nearer than I.
Now, this is the person this is the uncle of who was supposed to perform the duties that an Israelite is supposed to perform when a woman does not have child, when she's gone childless. So only a someone who's an Israelite is permitted to be with the woman, and so that the woman can get her so her children can inherit the land and allotment and all these things. Okay, that what Israelites are supposed to get.
Hebrew.
Huh?
Guerrilla Hebrew.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
You made the statement that David was a Mamzer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what do you
I don't believe David is a Mamzer. I believe, according to his premise, David would be a Mamzer.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, so what do you have to corroborate that?
Okay, just plain and simple. Ruth 4 and 10. Like you said, number one, she married into a family. So that's where all this terminology is coming. But as we can clearly see in Ruth 4 and 10, it says, moreover, Ruth the Moabitess. It calls her a Moabitess verbatim. But watch this. Moreover, Ruth the Moabitess, the wife of Mahlon, have I purchased to be my wife. He bought this person. We've already substantiated that you can't buy, sell, and trade Hebrew Israelites. That's against the law. He bought her. If he bought her, that means she was a handmaid. That means she was a slave. That means she was not an Israelite. And in addition to the fact that she's verbatim called another nation, she's called a Moabite.
So what is that according to the law?
Yeah, according to the law, you can't. That's Leviticus 25 and 44. It says, both thy bondmen and thy bondmaids, which thou shalt have, shall be of the heathen that are round about you. Of them shall ye buy bondmen and bondmaids.
You said Leviticus 25 and what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 25 and 44, and I'm going to skip to 46. It says, and ye shall take them as an inheritance for your children after you, to inherit them for a possession. They shall be your bondmen forever. But over your brethren, the children of Israel, ye shall not rule one over another with rigor. So it says we can't do that to Israelites, but we can do this to non-Israelites. So he bought her, and she's called a Moabite. So what else am I supposed to think other than that she's a Moabite?
Brother Rob Rack.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, what do you have to say about Ruth chapter 4 verse 10 and that being corroborated with the actual law?
Okay, hold on. Okay, wait, let me pull it up. Ruth 4:10. right? Hold on, because I was I had it up, and wait. His premise was, dang it. It is. Wait, dang it. He said. Okay. Leviticus 25, right?
No, I want you to go to. I want you to go to Ruth chapter 4 verse 10.
Okay, Ruth 4 and 10. All right. Moreover, Ruth the Moabitess. Now, if you open up tools and you see, you see Strong's 4125, right? Moabi. Okay. Now, you got there's two. Hold on, because I want to say it right. Hold on. Here it goes. There's two. You have Moab, right? Moab of his father, a son of Lot by his eldest daughter, the nation descended from Lot, a hand inhabited by the descendants of Lot. Okay, that is Strong's 41:24. What we read in this verse is Strong's 41 and 25, which is where is it at? Which is Moabi. She's a citizen of Moab, an inhabitant. Okay.
So you're saying the Moabites?
Yeah. There's if you type in H41:24 and H41:25, you get two different definitions. The one that's 41 and 24 would say she's an actual a descendant from Moab. 41:25 means she's a citizen of Moab. Just like if an Israelite was from France and he said, I'm French, you know damn well he's not French. And you know I'm not American. But that's what it means, a citizen of Moab. Because Ruth goes with the book of Judges. And when you go to Judges 3, when Israel, when we beat up all the lusty men of valor of Moab.
Ruth is she is of Israel.
Yes.
So she was she married a Moabite who's not of Israel.
No, she just was a citizen of Moab.
Oh, she was a.
You understand me?
Okay, so she was a citizen of Moab, but she married an Israelite.
She was an Israelite. She was a citizen of Moab, just like I'm an American citizen.
Who did she get married to?
Boaz.
He was an Israelite?
Yes.
So Guerrilla Hebrew.
Yeah.
How is he a mamzer? I mean, how is he a mamzer according to his definition? Because his definition of a mamzer is.
I got it pulled up. Peep what he just did, right? Remember when I pulled up the definition for mamzer and he told me not to look at this, to look at the Strong's definition? Remember that?
Right.
So look at the Strong's definition, what he said I had to read in the case of a mamzer. Look what it says. A descendant of Moab. You see how he's picking and choosing that? So if he went off of what the same standard he used earlier, it says a descendant of Moab, that makes her a Moabite. Again, the Bible calls her a Moabite, and she was bought for money. I want Rob to explain to me how Israelite women are being bought, sold, and traded like they're cattle if they're Israelite. Why are we treating our sisters like that? Why? That's against the law. It doesn't make any sense.
Okay, brother Solar Mind, did I not show you that in Ruth 4 and where is it at? 4 and 10, Guerrilla Hebrew, could you?
All right, so when she was a citizen of Moab, she was taking on the customs.
No, wait, brother.
No, you wait, brother. You wait. You wait. I'm asking Guerrilla Hebrew a question.
Yes, sir.
So Ruth, when she was a citizen of Moab, she was taking on the customs of the Moabites?
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's what he's saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that she's a Moabite. That's who she is. That's where she comes from. That's why she's getting bought right here. I'm not saying that she's an Israelite that lived in the land of Moab.
Oh, you're saying that she was a Moabite?
Yeah, she's a non-Israelite.
Oh, okay.
Just like the book said.
Oh, may I speak, sir?
All right, so.
May I speak, please?
Yeah, go ahead, bro. You saying that she was a. So what is the proof that you have concerning her being an Israelite?
Wait, me? or
Yeah, you, brother.
okay, yeah. I prefaced the. Could you go to Ruth 4 again? Okay, Ruth 4, RTH 4. Okay, Ruth 4 and 10. It says, moreover, Ruth the Moabitess. Now, when I touch this, when I go on the same website as Guerrilla Hebrew, and when I look at it, when I touch tools, he read the definition from 4124, which I said is not in there.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Sir, brother.
Rob, I don't mean to disrespect you, King. I really don't, but I really did read. I really did read the one you're talking about. 24.
All right, hold on a second. All right.
I pulled it up and I can show it again.
All right.
Yes, do that, brother.
Pull it up, Sakari. Pull it up.
Thank you, sir. Okay, hit tools. Now go to Moabitess. Now what is that? Wait, sir. Guerrilla Hebrew, sir. Hello?
Hold on. Let me put it right there.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. Could you hit the back button really quick? Just hit the back button. Okay. Now, what number do you see next to Moabi? What number is that?
4125.
Okay. Click that button, sir.
It's Moabite from father, a citizen of Moab.
An inhabitant in the land of Moab.
Right.
Now, the part where he's reading from, look to the left look at the numbers left of where it says a Moabite and a Moabitess. Is that a different number?
Yeah, Moabitess, it says.
So that's the root. 4124 is the root. 4125 is where you would use a citizen of Moab, an inhabitant in the land of Moab. Because
so click on the Moabitess.
Yeah, she was a citizen in the land of Moab. Okay, she was a citizen, and that's confirmed by when I read Ruth chapter 3.
Hebrew, can you click on the Moabitess?
Click on this number or this? This is the word for Moabitess. This is what we clicked on right here. That's translated, but this is the root word.
It said Moabite. I'm saying don't it say Moabitess right up there? It says Moabite.
This is the root Moab, but it's Moabitess is like the feminine. Them understanding it's a woman, they translated it femininely, but this is it Moabite.
Sir, do you?
So you can't click right there on Moabitess right there next to Moabite?
Yeah, this is it. This is what's translated. See, it's translated Moabitess, Moabite, Moab, Moabitish.
Okay. So click on the Moabitess.
Just 6 times.
What numbers do you see, sir? 4125 or 4124, sir?
All right, so click on the H441 4125. It says the same thing, bro.
Yep. No, what I'm trying to show you, they have 40.
It says the same thing, bro.
Okay. Hebrews 41:24, sir.
It says the same thing as 41:25.
Yeah. And that's the root, is what I'm saying. But when it's mentioning Ruth, she is the inhabitant, the citizen. Like she just lives in the land. Because if that's not the case, in Ruth chapter 3, verse 2, she would not be a near kinsman to an Israelite.
Wait. You're saying that she was a near kinsman. That's not like a relative.
I'm not saying that, sir. It's in Ruth chapter 3, verse.
Yeah, I remember reading that.
9
now
you're saying
that in Ruth chapter 3, where it says that there was a near kinsman, but a near kinsman is not kinsman though. There's near kinsman. Like I call my man I grew up with, he's like a near kinsman. He know my mother, I know his mother. I could go over there right now and sleep on the couch.
Okay, well, let me say this then. Since he's your near kinsman, right? If you didn't know me and I was sitting on his couch, would you assume that I was his cousin?
If I didn't know you,
and you went to your best friend's house, your near kinsman's, and you saw me sitting on his couch, would you assume Rob is one of his cousins?
I probably wouldn't assume that. I probably would assume that you know them somehow.
Somehow, some way.
Right.
So, I mean, we're going into
But what that got to do with the near kinsman part? Because it's clear they're saying that for a reason.
Okay, well, here the word for kinsman is let me get it, because I don't even want.
I mean, maybe you can show me the biblical version of it, but I know what kinsman means. Kinsman is not really your problem. It's the near part that is the problem.
What? I don't. All right. Let me go somewhere else to help. Let me see. Because. All right.
What does that mean to you, near kinsman?
Like family, like people.
Right, but not it's not the blood, because if it was the blood, I ain't gonna put near in front of it. Like my brother, I ain't gonna say my brother is my near kinsman. No, he's my kinsman. I'm not gonna say my mother is my near kinsman. That's my kinsman. We blood. Like I'm not. Why would I put near in front of that if we like related blood? Only time I would throw that. Only time when I would throw that in front of the kinsman is like if it's somebody that we're not blood related, but that's we good. That's my man. We grew up together, whatever the case may be. Well, yeah, you know.
We are using English. Okay, so
that's what I said. I'm giving you the opportunity to go ahead and pull it up. I mean,
yeah. Belong to the nearest kinsman. Okay. Near kin, a near relative, the nearest kinsman. Leviticus 25. Let me see if this is can suffice as an answer. 25 and 20. No, this isn't. This will not suffice as an answer. So your kinsman is your near kinsman is the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem, bro.
Okay. So the answer to kinsman. Right? Hold on. Let me see. Let me go back to the law. Leviticus 18. Okay. Now, in Leviticus 18, this is pretty much the law of incest, right? Leviticus 18:4, you should keep my ordinances, keep my statutes. Leviticus 18:6, none of you shall approach to any that is near of kin to him to uncover their nakedness, the nakedness of thy father, the nakedness of thy mother. Okay, thou shalt, Leviticus 18:12, thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy father's sister, for she is thy father's near kinswoman. So basically, in Leviticus 18:12, okay, thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy father's sister. So if you have a father and your sister, so that in today's term, that will be your auntie. So she is thy father's near kinswoman.
Oh, you saying 18 and what?
Leviticus 18:12 and 18:13. This is the law on incest.
18:12, it says, thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy father, their father's sister. She is thy father's near kinswoman.
Now, let me ask you a question, Brother Solomon. The sister of your father, do you consider her family?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. In this verse, it says, thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy father's sister. She is thy near kinswoman. So when I go to Ruth chapter 3, verse 9, and when Boaz, and they're talking about near kinswoman, that's in a sense from the same bloodline, family, not actual family as far as this is my auntie. That's why it says she's near.
It says, wait. The nakedness of thy sister, the daughter of thy father, or daughter of thy mother, whether she was born at home or born abroad, even their nakedness thou shalt not uncover. The nakedness of thy son's daughter, or of thy daughter's daughter, their nakedness shalt thou not uncover, for there is thy own nakedness. The nakedness of thy father's wife. The nakedness of thy father's wife's daughter, begotten of thy father. She is thy sister. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy father's sister. She is thy father's near kinswoman. Yeah. All right, so Guerrilla Hebrew.
Yes, sir.
This is making reference to kinswoman being an actual relative, bro.
It certainly is. But we have to understand this is a context of a set of laws that forbade relationships between you and near kinspeople. So if that's the context that it's talking about in Ruth, then that would of course mean that Ruth was committing incest through sleeping with Boaz. We know that's not the case. What we have to understand is Ruth married a man named Mahlon. Mahlon, his brother and his father died in the land of Moab. Naomi, which was the mother of Mahlon, took Ruth back to Israel. According to Deuteronomy 25:5, when you have a wife and you don't raise up children, which the brother referenced, your near kinsperson has a duty to raise up children unto you through your wife, right? So the near kinsman reference is to the near kinsman of her husband, not to her.
No.
Because if it was to her, then their union would be forbidden, and it would be incest. In which case, King David would still be a Mamzer.
All right, hold on, wait. Where's that verse again that we was reading from? That was
Which one? In Ruth?
Yeah, that was okay. That's Ruth.
Yeah.
Ruth chapter. Alright, Ruth chapter 3 verse 10, right? Oh no, chapter 3.
Is it verse 2, verse 9, and verse 12?
Alright, it says, and he said, who art thou? And she answered, I am Ruth, thy handmaid. Spread therefore thy skirt over thy handmaid, for thou art a near kinsman. And he said, blessed be thou of thy Lord, my daughter, for thou hast shewed me kindness in the latter end than at the beginning, inasmuch as thou followest not young men, whether poor or rich. And now, my daughter, fear not. I will do to thee all that thou requirest, for all the city of my people doth know that thou art a virtuous woman. And now it is true that I am thy near kinsman, howbeit there is a kinsman nearer than I. So, yeah, if you're saying like the kinsman, in what context are you trying to say that this is talking about the kinsman, Guerrilla Hebrew?
What I'm saying is it's in reference to her husband's kinsman, because that's how, like, see, look, Deuteronomy 25:5, right? It says, if brethren dwell together and one of them die and have no child, the wife of the dead shall not marry without unto a stranger. her husband's brother shall go in unto her. So when he says, I'm not kinsman, but there's one nearer to me, both the brothers died, right? So he's like a second cousin. So he's saying there's like a cousin that's closer in relation that actually has the right to you. But if he don't take you, I'll take you. So it's referencing her husband's kinsman, not hers. Because again, like Leviticus 18, the brother read, if he is actually a near kinsman to her, their union would be illegitimate,
says,
would be
and
unlawful.
he said, thou, and she answered, I am Ruth thy handmaid, spread therefore thy skirt over thy handmaid, for thou art a near kinsman. And he said, blessed be thou of the Lord, my Lord, for thou hast showed me kindness in the matter of him in the beginning, inasmuch as thou followest not young men. And now, my daughter, fear not, I will do to thee all that thou requirest, and for all the city of my people dolt thou that art a virtuous woman. And I know it is true that I am thy near kinsman.
Watch, like, go.
It says, yeah, I get what you're saying. It says, now it is true that I am thy near kinsman. How about there is a kinsman nearer than I? So he's saying that, okay, I get what you're saying. Because he's saying that like, I am thy near kinsman. So who is he talking to?
He's talking to Ruth, but what he's talking about is Deuteronomy 25. This is why they say this in Ruth 4 and 5. Then said Boaz, what day thou buyest the field of the hand of Naomi, thou must buy it also of Ruth the Moabitess. Like you got to buy Ruth, the wife of the dead, to raise up a name of the dead upon his inheritance. So the dead is who he's near kinsman to, and he had to buy Ruth along with all the possessions of the dead man, because he had to raise up seed, and he was a kinsman who was eligible to do that. You see what I'm saying? But there was somebody nearer than him, and that's why, like, if you read the whole thing, there was a huge council, and the dude that was nearest didn't want to take her, so Boaz did.
Okay, so it says, and it is true that I am thy near kinsman. So he's talking to her.
Yeah, he's talking to her.
So what do you think he mean when he say that?
He's talking about because she married into that family, and he's the individual that is a near kinsman, meaning eligible to marry her and raise up seed to her of that family.
Okay, so she was already married into the family.
Yeah, because her husband died. So the Israelite custom is for her to marry the closest kinsman to her husband to have a child with her if he didn't have any children with her.
All right. So that's why she's being referred to as kinsman.
Exactly.
Because she's already okay. So she was already married, and that's why she's kinsman, according to what you read, what was being read, I think, in Leviticus.
Yeah, she married into the family.
All right. So it was some type of death to the previous husband.
Yeah, without children. So then the custom is his near kinsman got to have a baby with him.
Right. Is that true, Rob Rack?
Yeah. So that's the
Rob
law.
Rack. So
can you hear me?
Yeah. You're saying that is true, okay. What Guerrilla Hebrew is saying.
Yeah,
it did what's her name? Ruth? Was Ruth married into the family already?
Yeah, then the husbands had died.
So would you think that's why
her husband had died?
Okay, so that's maybe why she's being called kinsman. According to the law that you showed, because it was saying that, marry one that is married to thy wife, you're not allowed to pretty much, if my brother marry a woman, I'm not allowed to fuck that girl. But she's not related to me. But in the context, she's not blood related to me, but she's like thy near kinsman. But she could be like a white girl. Like he could marry a white girl, but I'm not allowed to, fuck her because he's married to her.
Okay. Ruth chapter 2 and 20. And Naomi said unto her daughter-in-law, Blessed be he of the Lord, who have not left off his kindness to the living and to the dead. And Naomi said unto her, The man is near of kin unto us, one of our next kinsmen.
What I'm saying to you is that, like, you just admitted that she was married already in a family.
With no children, yeah.
With no children.
Yeah,
so all this corroborates what is being said. It's saying like, okay, and now it is true that I am thy near kinsman in the context of like, yo, my brother's gone, but yeah, you my sister-in-law, but I know it's true that we like sisters-in-law. It's kind of awkward, that this shit's going down like this, but look, I'll take you if nobody else can marry you type shit.
Numbers.
No, I want to deal with this right here, bro. Like, what is going on right now?
The question is, she was married to Mahone, right? That's what the question. She was married, yeah, and then she didn't have any children,
right?
But her being from another nation would not make her a kinsman.
No, but the reason why she was a kinsman was because she was already married into the family already.
And to give and to pass the let me get that. Israelites cannot pass.
That's just like for example, like you got a brother, he's married to this woman. So like 10 years go by, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So she like your sister-in-law. Your mind is already like sister mode. That's like sister. Your mind is like sister mode. You're not even looking at her like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he dies, and according to customs, they didn't have no children yet. So the custom is to marry somebody still within the family. But it's like, yo, you like my near kinsman because like you was in sister mode for like all this time and shit. So he's saying like, look, push come to shove, if nobody else take you, then I gotta do it.
I gotta go back to Ruth, and I was thinking because you said we're gonna deal with Ruth. I tried to go somewhere else, but we got to deal with Ruth. Okay, so Ruth, let me go and let me find out where, because
the reason why I'm still saying with Ruth is because you admitted that was the case. You admitted that she was married to somebody else, and that is the near kinsman argument that he's posing.
No, the argument on this issue, because you're bringing up something that I can't disagree with. You see what I'm saying? The argument here with Ruth is on my end is that Ruth is an Israelite, but she just lived in the land of Moab. Alazar's argument is that she's not an Israelite. She is not an Israelite, but she was married to an Israelite.
Right.
Israelites cannot pass land down to non-Israelites. Israelites cannot even pass land.
So are you saying that they was committing incest then?
No. Sir, no. That's why it's what I was trying to show you in Leviticus 18 when it said near kinsmen is that is a family, like not what we would think of today as family is not like how they would think of it back then. Just like I can have a best friend now and I would say, yo, this is my cousin. When people say, yo, what happened with Joe? And I'd be like, who, my cousin Joe? And everybody know that's not my cousin, but we grew up next to each other. Can I marry
so that's what
Joe's
she is.
Sister? Yeah.
So that's what she is? Like a near cousin, but not really a cousin?
Yes. Like
so that means she's not related then?
Not related. No, see, not related on that level. Like, I consider you my cousin.
Which one is it, bro?
I consider you my brother. You understand what I'm saying?
All right, is she an Israelite or not, bro?
Huh?
Is she an Israelite or not?
Ruth is an Israelite, yes. Could have just asked me that, yes.
All right. So how can you prove that she's Israelite?
The same way he can't prove that she's not. Ruth, chapter, Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 2 says, an Ammonite or a Moabite would not enter into the congregation. There's no reason.
Brother, I wanted you to show me how is Ruth an Israelite.
Okay. Ruth 1. How can I show you that she is an Israelite? Same way I'm going to show you Jesus was. Okay. This Ruth 1. So this Ruth 1 and 22. So Naomi returned, and Ruth the Moabitess, her daughter-in-law, returned out of the country of Moab. Hold on. And they came to Bethlehem in the beginning of the barley harvest. Okay, so we have Ruth going back into the land to go celebrate a feast day. In Ruth 2 and 2, it keeps saying Ruth the Moabitess. Now, I'm trying to show you when you go into the Strong's definition of Moabi, 4125.
All right, we already did all that already.
I know. I'm going over the definition.
We went to that already, bro. We already seen that.
Okay, we can have now. I can't prove that her mom and her dad was from this exact tribe and that. It does not say.
All right, thanks a lot, bro.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to give my vote to Guerrilla Hebrew. He was able to show that the kinsman was, the kinsman was in the context of, her being married into the family for some time and then her not able to have children. And according to custom, they wanted to procreate within the family. So that's why she was a near kinsman that was also being wedded still within the family. Not that she was an Israelite, but that she was married to an Israelite. And he wasn't able to provide sufficient evidence suggesting that she was an Israelite. So with that being said, shout out to both debaters. Tomorrow we're going to have, I believe, Brother Mikael. Brother Mikael is going to be in the building. Tomorrow he's going against Yamra Yahu, and the title of that debate is going to be, can the New Testament and Christ be validated in the Old Testament? So look out for that tomorrow. And also we're going to have an interview with a new member of the Debate League. I believe that he goes by the name of Amayan. So that'll be earlier tomorrow. I think around 4 o'clock we're going to go and do that interview. So once again, shout out to both debaters. This has been this was kind of crazy. I got to say, I learned a lot today. So really, we don't have any losers today because I learned a lot from both of you guys concerning this Mamzer thing. And I'm going to be like talking shit like I'm some type of scholar to somebody about this shit tomorrow. Like, yo, this Mamzer shit is crazy. But no, shout out to both debaters. It was a very good and informative debate.